Hey everyone, welcome to ZSR. Today we have an Ocarina of Time Randomizer standard weekly race. This is very exciting. It is mixed pools settings. Tracking today we have Virgil, Dante, and Carliana. And on comms we have Hyper and Burrito. And they will take it from here.
All right. Thank you very much, Baseball. Welcome, everybody. Happy Saturday. It's time for a very exciting race. Hyper, would you like to explain why mixed pools is so exciting?
Oh my god, definitely. Mixed Balls is so fun. It's chaos. So if you like chaos, this is the race for you. Mixed Balls is kind of just all over the place. It's entrances all shuffled together. So it's all of the entrance pools you can think of. They're all shuffled into one pool. So the cool thing is, like, you can find like Queen Goma in like open Kakarot and some really fun stuff like that. Or you could have Shadow Temple leads to Fire Temple, leads to Forest Temple. It can just go on forever. So yeah, Mixed Balls is crazy, but a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I know some people are used to randomizing dungeon entrances, but nah, this is everything. So we might be here for a while, so I hope you brought drinks and a snack. Because it's going to be a good time. And if you're interested in participating in the Mixed Pools tournament, I think signups, what was it? Are they open Monday?
They're opening very soon. I think Monday sounds right.
Yeah, they open Monday. Information is linked in the chat there. Make sure to check it out. People are really excited for this race. We have 14 entrants this week for the weekly. And it looks like we're off, which we're Adult Link behind Potion Shop in Kakariko. And we straight go in there. You go see it. We're already in Garuda Valley. Not a great first place. I'm not. Oh, go on.
Yeah, you can see straight away. So in the pause menu, it looks a little bit different. So the win condition of mixed pools is to beat all of the bosses. So all 9 dungeon rewards you need. And the pause menu tells you what areas those bosses are in. So you don't necessarily know what boss you're going to find there, but you do know where the bosses are located. The problem is finding those locations. That's the fun part.
Well, this start is actually pretty generous as we find Mido's house right down there, and we get a wallet out of it, and we actually have access to the Adult Bazaar shop, which has our iron boots in it for 100 rupees, and we can get the shield at the same time. So that's actually a pretty generous start, I think, for mixed pools.
That's pretty nice. Although 100 rupees is just slightly out. Was it affordable or was it 100?
It was 110 rupees, so it was affordable with the wallet we got out of Mido's house.
Oh, nice. Okay, that's a really good combination then.
Yeah. So, this is a really generous start. These seeds can sometimes be a little bit on the dry side, and you're mostly just chaining entrances together to find something, which we've already found Spirit Temple at the back of Impa's house. So very accessible next to the adult spawn. And Spirit Temple special, because some of you will remember that past the Iron Knuckle rooms going out of the statue, those are 2 entrances. So that could be 2 more paths for us later on. But of course, we got to get through Spirit to even check those.
Yeah, and we're seeing straight away, like, the thing that can happen in mixed pools so often is you're in one area and all of a sudden you go through an entrance that you can't get back through. We did get the iron boot, so we could go back through that entrance if we wanted to. But it's often a thing, you're in the middle of clearing an area, checking all the entrances, and then boom, you just get one-wayed, and you're in a new area, and you've got to just kind of roll with the punches in these settings, I think, is the best way to describe it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And sometimes when you're just going into areas, it becomes more of a commitment than you expected. So maybe not necessarily things become one way, but let's say that you enter an area and then all of a sudden you're in Dodongo's Cavern. Pretty rich with checks. Maybe you could do a few things, but maybe getting there was really difficult. So now you have to make the decision of, do I stay or do I go and try and work back to this later?
Yeah, I think early game, the focus is really around finding entrances, finding songs. So, yeah, finding areas like Ranch, SFM, places that give you songs. Really high value early for movement and getting to different places. So you'll probably see the runners just jumping in and out of a lot of entrances early, trying to find where everything is. And then they'll maybe look to, like, doing dense locations, like maybe dungeons a little bit later in the seed.
Oh, absolutely. And there's one of my favorite entrances, actually, is the Silver Boulder Grotto in Gerudo Valley, just because that's normally a place where you never go to, because it's just rupees inside. But now all of a sudden it becomes a very funny place to go to. Which
Yeah,
to your
very
point,
very cool.
yeah,
Sorry, go
Hells and
ahead.
Cola are just nailing out these entrances like you would expect, just kind of filling it out. Would you say that with somebody with experience, as you do with mixed pools, this is probably one of the more strong strategies to take? Is this kind of check as many entrances as fast as you can to figure out where things are, and then pick up things along the way, or do you like stretching for checks more once you find a spot?
Yeah, I think so. What I try and do is, like, if I can, clear an area of the entrances there. So if I'm in CAC, I ideally want to check every entrance in CAC before I like move to another area. So if I find like maybe, I don't know, Gerudo Valley or something in CAC, I won't explore Gerudo Valley until I've finished with CAC. I think that's the more efficient way to do things. Otherwise, you kind of start orphaning entrances and have to come back later. But yeah, it's about, finding like scrubs and shops early on and trying to just get some, I guess, like usability with some items, like finding a bomb bag or a hammer or something that's gonna increase another wallet as well. So this is kind of huge.
Money seed, let's go.
So finding shops now is probably a big priority because, yeah, there's 4 shuffled items in each shop. We've got double wallet, so we can afford them all. So yeah, it's but there's a lot of different strategies for mixed pools, and I don't think there's necessarily a correct meta in how to play it. So that's why I think it's really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're seeing some of what you're talking about, which is trying to check out and feel like what all Kakariko is. So Cola's been going in and out, finding water temples also in Kakariko. Convenient since we found iron boots there. And then Hell's got one-wayed by that silver boulder in Valley, and so then just went down, found DMT, and then just been rolling with it as best they can. But they got back around, it looks like. But yeah, I am really looking forward to seeing how strategies diverge once we have more items to work with. I think starting with Wind is very fun, especially if we can find magic sooner than later, because obviously when you don't you don't necessarily know where things are, and then maybe getting back to those things later is really difficult. Wind placement becomes even more important.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, FW can be really useful in these settings. Fun fact, last season we actually had a Way of the Hero for Raw's Wind. Because I didn't know this was possible, but you were logically expected to put FW in a dungeon so that you could change the time of day to get back in later to do a time of day specific entrance. So
That's...
and there was no way around it. You actually had to just sit outside and wait for the time of day to change. It was really cool.
That's cool, but also, man, that's messed up. I would not register that. But while we've been going over the speciality of mixed pools here, we have seen 2 Way of the Hero hints, which there's 5 to find. We found Kakariko's Way of the Hero, which might be the Iron Boots. And then we found Fire Temple, most recently here in Sacred Forest Meadow, which we're also finding Zelda's Lullaby on Minuet, which, you never know when you're going to come across Bottom of the Well. So,
yeah,
in these settings.
It's important to note a couple of differences in these settings. ZL can actually be hinted, Way of the Hero, in mixed pools, because it's not as often required as a general standard seed. So ZL can be Way of the Hero. Lights can't be directly, but we can find items that lead to lights that can be Way of the Hero. But the 3 hard, always required every mixed pool seed items, Hammer, Boomerang, and Mirror Shield. Those 3 will always be hard required. Every other item can be sometimes Way of the Hero, but not always. There's 2 hook shots, you only need 1. Things like that. You don't always need hovers, you don't always need irons. So yeah, it would be interesting.
So we just saw something really interesting, speaking of which, on Hell's side. They went through an entrance and it put them in King Dodongo's boss room. So the boss rooms are separate entrances then.
That's right, yes. Yeah, boss entrances are completely separate. So yeah, we can just find, bosses anywhere in the seed, which is, I think, really cool.
Yeah, because that might remove the requirements of having to go through the entire dungeon to get your medallions and stones, which you mentioned earlier. It's a 9 dungeon reward requirement, which is really high, but when you can just walk into the boss, all of a sudden it gets a lot easier.
Yeah, and you'll see some cool things, like some child maybe fights on some adult bosses. So yeah, let's hope we get something like that.
Yeah. Now, Hell's just found our first warp song of the seed. We found Requiem. So, what's special about warp songs in these settings?
Yeah, so warp songs are completely randomized too. So you have to play Requiem to find out where Requiem takes you, and it can be anywhere in the overworld. I think it can also even be dungeons as well. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's really fun. Random warp songs is tough, man. You don't realize how much you depend on them for like basic movement until you don't have them.
Yeah. So when I said all the pools were shuffled, yeah, I wasn't kidding. Warp songs, owl drops, grottos, interiors, spawns, yeah, everything is shuffled. And there's Twin Robot.
There's two bosses just sitting in Kokiri Forest, just hanging out. Now, not everything's shuffled, though. So, Thieves' Hideout entrances aren't shuffled, and Blue Warps are not shuffled.
Correct,
so for Thieves' Hideout, is that because if you did not shuffle Thieves' Hideout, everything would be Thieves' Hideout?
Yeah, I think it would be complete chaos. Like, this is chaos, but there's still a limit of how much chaos we really want. So, yeah, I think we're not that crazy yet. But maybe that'll happen one day.
All right. And then why aren't Blue Warps shuffled?
I don't actually know about that one. That'd probably be more a question for Fennel, but I think it's to have a consistent way to change time of day as well. So yeah, if you need to reset time of day, you can end up back in a dungeon and hit the blue warp again, and that can be your way to reset time of day. Which again, just like that whole For All's Win situation, can be a logical way to change time of day, which would be horrible. I haven't seen that yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that would make sense because as you were mentioning earlier with that wind logic, changing time of day can all of a sudden become really important. Like as an example of say you need to get through somewhere in Kakariko Graveyard, but you have no access out to Hyrule Field easily from there, but maybe you can go finish a boss's child and that can set time of day for you if you need to go back to day for whatever reason.
Yeah,
like a shop.
Yeah, something like a shop or Talon's Chickens, because you can enter that and it can be nighttime, but Talon's sleeping at nighttime, so you might need it to be daytime. So yeah.
Yeah. So it looks like Hell's finally came to the end of a chain here, getting a fairy grotto. It's going to see where that Requiem goes. So let's see where our first warp song goes for the sea, which looks to be Death Mountain Crater. Wow. Okay,
this is good.
It's just your bolero.
This yeah, is really so this is nice because this is another song.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, so now we found Storms, and we did get, while we were chatting, Path is bottom of the well. So now with Storms, now that won't help us get into bottom of the well, but it's thematically appropriate.
Yeah, what Storms does is it unlocks so many more entrances, all those Storms grottos that we couldn't get into before. It's really nice for movability.
Yeah. Wow, very convenient fairy fountain.
We both got into one at the same time.
Yeah, there you go. Finding our fairy fountains early.
And you'll see, especially early game, there's a lot of resetting that goes on. So I prefer to play on emulator and mixed pools, especially because of how reset heavy the early game is. When you're just exploring, you get locked. It's just quicker to reset.
Yeah, that makes sense. So other than one-way entrances, what else is like something that you don't want to see when you're going through, when you're checking ways? Like, do you start getting worried if you're not finding Temple of Time?
Yeah, Temple of Time is probably a big one. You kind of want to know where that is early. And you can see there's so much routing divergence just between these two players that one player can find Temple of Time in the first 10 minutes and it can take the other person like an hour. So it's just, yeah, high variability. It's why checking as many entrances as possible is such a good idea. Just having that information on Temple of Time is, yeah, very useful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Kola just robbed a child, but that's very useful as well. It was empty. And as we talked about earlier, items are shuffled in shops, so you want to keep that wallet topped off. Oh, here's Goma. We actually can get our first dungeon reward.
Yeah. Gonna see this nice and early, so this will be good. Adult Goma, you don't see this very often, but it's yeah, pretty much the same as child.
Yeah. Now we saw that pause screen a little bit ago, but I failed to stare at Cola's screen when they had it up, so I don't know what Goma's going to give us, but hopefully something something good. We did start with Fire Medallion, so if anything's on Burning Kakariko, we're slightly closer to that. And since we start there as a doll, that's actually easy to check.
Yep. And Cola getting a little bit trolled by Goma, unfortunately. Fun fact with Goma as adult, the bow doesn't stun her when she's on the ground, but when she's on the roof, for some reason the bow works. So
I did not know that one. Yeah. I just learned recently that slingshot stuns her for longer than Deku nets, and I was like, what? Why?
Yeah, it's very useful.
Oh, cool!
And
Some
we got
bomb shoes. That's our first
Ooh.
explosives.
Yeah, that's really
Out of
nice.
Spirit. All right. So bomb shoes and a spirit medallion. So Goma actually given some useful things there.
Yeah, that's nice.
And then being spit back out into Lost Woods with explosives is great. Oh, there's Fountain. Cole's already found. Now, while we were in Fountain, this is also a good time to point out that to aid with the entrance randomizer here, we have a lot of open locations, which includes Deku, Fountain, Fortress, and Rainbow Bridge. And we're going to get some more hints. And then Cola's immediately going to see where Fairy Fountain leads, which is to more scrubs. This is good. There's 4 checks right here.
Yeah, scrub grottos are really nice. I don't know if we talked about what settings are on, but we've kind of figured it out by now. But yeah, scrubs, shops, skulls are not shuffled. It's one of the few things that isn't. And no cows yet, unfortunately. Maybe one day.
That opponent song requirement just becomes that much more of a hassle. You know, it's not just 10 rupees. It could be problematic for sure.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna get a peek out here at the bottom of Fountain too.
There's some unique hint types as well, as we see a scale on Icy Waters as well.
That's cruel, but cool.
Yeah, but we yeah, he's gonna die for this, but it's worth it. But yeah, there's we have Mask of Truth on in these settings. This is new for this season. So when we get our Skull Mask hint, it'll be a dual hint, and we'll get a Mask of Truth hint with it. So yeah, because we have to collect all the dungeon rewards anyway, Mask of Truth is not as bad as it is in normal settings. So yeah, organizers decided let's try that out this time. Still pretty brutal though with Mask of Truth, because you still have to complete the whole trade quest. So handing in each skull, finding the entrances to get to them can still be pretty brutal. So
absolutely,
it'd be pretty cool if we saw a Mask of Truth required today.
Yeah, when I saw that in the rule setting, I raised an eyebrow. I'm like, these settings seem pretty nice. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, ooh, someone's trying to be a freak here.
Yeah,
just run the whole gambit. But Hell's actually had a really good pull there, going into the Kokiri shop, buying from the scrubs, and finding Kokiri's sword. So if he does stumble upon Temple of Time, he's already going to be locked and loaded as child, as they both found Deku shields in a shop, as we did not start with the Deku shields either. So we're pretty much good to go as child.
Yeah, it is open Deku, so the Master Sword is more one of those convenient finds rather than a hard required find. These runners are for sure good enough to play with just sticks, but I'll never complain when you get a Kokiri sword. It makes some child boss fights a little bit easier.
Absolutely. And, it gets harder to farm certain item drops depending on what location you're in. So obviously, like, inside Deku Tree is not a problem for sticks. But, like, if you're in Dodongo's Cavern or something, you're running low on sticks, you don't have consistent access back to a drop source because of the randomized entrances, so it becomes a problem. Speaking of Dodongo's Cavern, Hell's just found that.
Have we seen the windmill yet?
Someone's been inside the windmill interior, yes.
Right.
Or yes, if someone has checked the windmill in CAC.
Like the actual windmill where the song is?
Yeah, that's where we found Requiem.
Okay, gotcha. All right. I wasn't sure if we'd just been in the windmill entrance, but not specifically the windmill. But that's something that can happen in mixed pools as well. Your logical access to windmill might be through Dampé's grave, so you need Song of Time.
That's a spicy one. Which Dampé did give us a Zora tunic, so now we have Zora tunic and Iron Boots pretty early into this, within 20 minutes.
That's scary.
Yeah, you're like, uh-oh.
You won't see these runners checking Central Pillow in water for a couple of hours unless they get a hint telling them to do that.
We're about to see freestanding the Creighton Valley here, which looks like maybe that was a 20 rupee or something.
Yeah, it looked red. I thought it might have been a heart piece or might have been 20 rupees.
Whatever it was, Hells did not care. Finding a lot of scrub grottos pretty early here, actually. I think this is like the 5th or 6th scrub grotto we've walked into so far.
Yeah, it makes you realize how many scrub grottos are actually in the game. You do find a lot, and yeah, they're nice. There's usually 2 or 3 in them, so you're getting a lot of checks really quickly.
Oh, this is good. We found Royal Family Tomb, so we'll see what's in here. Unfortunately, we won't be able to check the torches right now, so that's one check that you're going to be living in the back of your mind forever now.
Yeah, it's definitely one where I'd be writing it down, or otherwise I'm just never going to remember this place exists.
Yeah, that's a good question. So these runners have been just blitzing through entrances, but some of them are taking some sort of notes. What kind of notes do you prioritize when doing this? Because I know there's the strategy of marking every single entrance. Speaking of which, the cow is holding light arrows in Impa's house. That's cool. Thanks, cow. But what's your strategy when you're trying to go as fast as possible and also make sense of what you're doing?
Yeah, I think trying to find an efficient way that works for you to track entrances without having to stop and take notes is the best way to do things. I write down any entrances that lead to like other overworld areas or dungeons. If a check's dead, like maybe it's a scrub grotto and I clear it, then I don't bother tracking it. But yeah, it's different for everyone. Some people like to track every single entrance. Some people just like write down the important notes. There's like online trackers that you can use that can help you with entrance tracking. I just use a notepad. I'm a little bit simplistic for mixed pools because it's already pretty extreme.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So Hell saved before going back to get this big chest, which was just a Deku shield. So he might scum these chews if he doesn't find anything else soon. But yeah, on the topic of taking notes, I also use Notepad sometimes if we're using a proper tracker, just because I'm just like, screw it.
Yeah, and that's a good thing that we just saw. Is I don't know if we brought this up already, but shields are in big chests this season because we don't start with any chests with any shields. So yeah, they're big boys now. Which there's a lot of Deku shield shuffled, so I can see that being a little bit frustrating later in the game when you see some big chests and you just pull a Deku shield, but. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but Hell's definitely doing their best to exhaust Goron City here as Cola continues checking Lost Woods.
Yeah, so many overworld entrances still to check. We're still looking for that Temple of Time.
Yeah. But
we found a lot of useful songs early on as we get a bow on What the Hell side. Very nice. But yeah, as I was saying, yeah, lots of like early useful songs. Having ZL and Storms early just really helps with being able to check even more entrances, and you don't have to bother writing down where all the great fairies are when you find them. You can just knock them out straight away. So yeah, it's really nice.
And then Cola's gonna do
shoes here.
Oh man, I was doing a random recently, and somebody was like, "Hey, you should go chew bongo or dongo." I'm like, "No." Well, Cola will show us how it's done properly.
Oh, he's backflipping. Let's go. Nice. That's nice, one down. One. Oh, he's going for double backflip. This guy's swaggy. I like it.
Oh, he's showing off.
Oh, nice.
Oh, he got it. So good. So clean. Makes it look easy. Speaking of making it look easy, Hells is working up Gan's tower right now, actually already finding the boss climb.
Yeah, that's something we didn't mention as well. Ganon's tower is completely separate from Ganon's castle in these settings. So when you want to beat the game, you got to remember where this entrance is. Write it down, very important, because you do still need to beat Ganon at the end of the game.
Absolutely. That is a requirement. We won't be back here for a while, though.
We won't be, no.
So right now, Forest Medallion. Yeah, Forest Medallion, which will get him Prelude whenever we find Temple of Time, as in the Prelude check. He found Prelude on Royal Tomb, so Sun Song. But if we're looking at their 2 items right now, it's obviously very early in. We don't know what the other 12 racers in this weekly are doing. But out of these 2 item sets, if I had to pick one, I would definitely be picking Hells right now for the points you raised earlier with having Storms. That just makes you... It opens so many checks, and Bow's always nice, man.
Yeah, I got to agree with you there.
All right, looks like we're going to be seeing what's at the top of the crater here with Cola. Probably be checking the grotto under the rock. And then Hell's actually found Jabu Jabu boss door exit. So we might see a dull Jabu. Now, there are some quality of life settings on besides starting with wind. We do have free Scarecrow song, but most exciting, we found a way to put Rudo output floor 1 for these settings this year.
We did.
So you're going to save... So out of all the time you spend backtracking, you'll save at least a minute in Jabu, which there's a silver scale off of the deck you scrub in the basement. Which, correct me if I'm wrong, to get to that scrub as adult, you actually do have to fall and fall under, right?
Yeah, it's something that's not commonly known. But yeah, for some reason, adult can't dive under that gap without a scale. So you need a scale, irons, or jump down, like we saw what the Hells did. So you got to get under and use the momentum or the gravity from the jump to get you underneath that little ledge. For some reason, child can dive under no problem though, so it's a little bit weird.
Yeah, just weird Ocarina of Time things.
Adult's too big.
But Hells has a little nice chain here. So finding Jabu, exiting Jabu straight into Market, which or the Market entrance area. So like where the gatehouse is, and then going into Market goes right into Fire Temple. So Hells is getting a lot of good information early here. But Cola's found Hyrule Field, which that's a lot of places to go, and he's actually going to go check the Fairy Grotto entrance.
Yeah, Hyrule Field is actually a really good place to find. It's got about 8 different entrances. It's just a lot of walking, which is unfortunate, but you got to do it.
Oh, yeah. You got to put in the steps. Speaking of which, here's Ice Cavern.
Oh, no
going
bottle,
in, doing
unfortunately.
1-4 roll, be like, no, not now.
That's a good one to take note of, though. That's a song waiting when you get a bottle. And What the Hells goes in there, you'll probably see What the Hells do that area.
Yeah, because Hells found the bottle out of Ganon's Tower, but they both saw the bottle in Silo, the grain silo in Lon Lon, but they were adults. They couldn't crawl back there and get it.
That's right. They're too big. Too big.
Need
to lose some weight.
You're too big to ride this ride. Sorry. But so we're gonna see Hells now doing the Dampe race. Ooh, Cola finding GTG at Market Entrance Grotto. That's big.
Yeah,
that's a lot of good.
Yeah,
checks.
and this is one of those ones. It's like it's still early game. How much do you want to commit to a dungeon that you can only half clear right now? I wouldn't be surprised to see Cola just do this check and then leave.
Yeah. You can't go far, but it's more so to the point of he knows where it is now. Because I could have easily saw Cola just go, I want to go clockwise around field instead of counterclockwise, and just missed it.
Yeah. I absolutely love that Cola reset when he was about 5 seconds
One room away.
from the...
I think it's his muscle memory. Like, his muscles are like, all right, I'm up to the silver block, let me save and reset.
Yeah, I do that all the time. It's like, as soon as you hit that reset button, you're like, wait, that wasn't fast.
You're like, hold on.
Yeah, like Mixed Balls is just, there's so much going on. A lot of it is just muscle memory. Oh, we just saw Skull Mask is a hook shot. So that was the jewel hint I was talking about. The Mask of Truth is dead. I would have loved that hint to be the other way around. But we do need the Skull Mask. So we're going to have to find Mask Shop, get Keaton Mask, turn that in, and then go back for the Skull Mask.
Yeah, obviously not as inconvenient as the Mask of Truth would be, but Skull Mask could still be very painful depending on, when we find Temple of Time, when we find Market, and then how do we get Child into Kakariko.
Yeah. Oh,
and
speaking of his Temple of Time.
It's just Kakariko entrance. That's easy to remember. So remembering how to get to Hyrule Field is huge.
Yep.
Yeah. It's leading you to a lot of core places all of a sudden, and it's giving us Bolero.
Yeah, and probably good timing for Cola to find that. Done a lot of adult stuff right now. Has a lot of checks open as Child. I think knows where SFM is as well, so if they can get there as Child, that's another song. You're also looking for ranch. Yeah, places where songs are at this stage now are pretty important.
So within the logic of the seed, it could be totally required that you find a warp song to get Child to, like, say, wherever Spirit Entrance is.
Yeah, warp songs can be, Way of the Hero just for the locations they get. I've often seen, your only access to Kokiri Forest being a warp song, for example.
Yeah, that can be pretty unforgiving, especially when it's in dense areas like Lost Woods, Kakariko, and etc.
Yeah, Mixed Pools has some fun quirks. I think one of my favorites is your logical access to Lost Woods being the long shot off the bridge. That's a pretty cool one. Yeah, so there's some fun things like that that just don't come up really in other settings.
Mm-hmm. Now, one mercy of these tournament settings is that the Skulltula rewards 30, 40, and 50 are disabled, and 20 is hindered. Right. So getting your skulls isn't too much of a headache. Ooh, there's Mass Shop on Cola's side, by the way, so that's big. But
yeah, it's really good.
So there's some relaxing, there's some chill there for the skulls, because I imagine finding how to get into Cursed Skull House is a pain, and then you can't easily route out overworld skulls like you can when entrances aren't randomized.
Yeah, I think it was maybe a couple of seasons ago, 30, 40, and 50 were all enabled. And there were seeds where you didn't find the skull house until 3 hours, and then you found out it was 50 skulls. So I'm glad we are no longer doing that.
That's pretty brutal. That's like Mask of Truth almost.
Yeah. So you really don't have to collect too many skulls anymore. Probably just collect on your way to 10, and then find out what 20 is when you find the skull house.
Mm-hmm. So now Hells has found Royal Tomb, and we'll get Prelude out of here. And despite having Prelude and Bolero, I don't think Cola's checked either one yet. They just have a chain, and I guess they're going to just keep going till they hit a dead end.
Yeah, it might be. Some people like to play the song as soon as they get it, just for the info. Other people wait, like you said, until you hit a dead end, and then maybe try it.
Yeah, so Cola's really doing a good job of exhausting locations they are currently in.
Yeah, and doing it in a nice circular sort of route, so you get all the checks done in the most efficient way possible.
I've been telling you've given me some hot randomizer tips. One of them is going into circles very strong, specifically between field, valley, and lake, which we can't do in this scenario. It ended up more like a wiggle, I guess, with the entrance randomizer.
Yeah, and both players are now out of choose again, so Cole is going to have to miss these explosive checks. What the hell is just running out of choose as well, so yeah, we're back to looking for some kind of explosives again to limit how many checks we're leaving behind.
Yeah, so Hell's found the entrance to Temple of Time, and we just got another Way of the Hero hint, which is Fountain. We found Scale in Fountain. Now, there could be something else in Fountain, but...
Yeah, we do have Gold Scale as well.
Yeah, we have Gold Scale, but we already started with Boots anyways.
Yeah, so... that really only lab dive is...
that, or could it be that Child needs Scale to access a specific entrance, like Lake Hylia dive to where Rudo's letter is?
The fact that we have both scales, it would, if it is the scale it's talking about, it would have to be Gold Scale. So that's only lab dive, given that we have Iron Boots. Unless only Child can access Tektite Grotto, and Adult can't get in there, that could be the other way that Gold Scale could be required.
Oh, it's a messed up situation. But speaking of
I
messed
don't know
up,
if
Cola
both our scales were in logic or not.
Oh, good. Yeah. Speaking of messed up, though, Cola just found fire arrows and more chews in a scrub gut. Open south. That's really powerful.
Yeah, that's really nice timing for Cola. We'd be really happy about that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we're gonna see. Are we gonna see Child Bongo?
He's thinking about it.
Well, he drops straight in the hole. If you're gonna do it, you need to do broken stick before you fall in.
Oh yeah.
I hope he does it. It's for restream value. It's like Bongo is one of the bosses you can definitely do with broken stick. It's a little bit sucky. Oh, he also got. Yeah, that was weird. That's what happens when you save quit in a grotto entrance. You kind of get thrown to a different entrance when you save quit.
Ah.
Because grottos are scuffed.
Absolutely. Looks like he's not going to go for it. Sorry, no restream value. Maybe Hells will.
Maybe. Oh, Hells has the Kokiri sword, so
he'll
definitely just beat it in one try.
Mm-hmm. So it looks like Kola is going to go check the last grotto here, and then maybe go peek where Kokiri Forest entrance takes him. As I don't think he looked there yet.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Oh, Baronade can't do this one yet.
All right, 2 bosses sitting right next to each other. That's pretty cool.
Cool. Man, Hyrule a good place to be. It's going to be a place that you're going to need to go back to, so it's really important you remember where the hell that is.
Yeah.
Yo, Hells just bought free money. 90 rupees for a huge rupee? Thanks.
that shop owner has no idea. It's not a good business tactic.
No. So Lon Lon Ranch is a good find. Hells will likely be noting this down for when he gets into Child.
Yeah. Yeah, important to note as well, the grotto in Ranch is only there when you're Child, so that's another entrance Hells will have to remember about when he does come back here as Child.
Mm-hmm. It's an easy one to forget.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I don't know why, but that one and Lake Hylia under the owl, where the gravestone is. I always forget those 2 scrub grottos. You'd think I'd forget the one in Goron City, but no, it's those 2.
Yeah, we just got a DC is foolish hint, so that's a really nice one. We didn't talk as well that the foolish hints it guarantees to hint 2 foolish dungeons, I think it is, and then 1 foolish overworld area. So that's probably another reason why you don't see like runners dipping dungeons too early. Maybe wait until you get your foolish hints, or you might just be wasting your time clearing a foolish dungeon.
Mm-hmm. That definitely makes information hints really powerful within these settings, but given all the entrances are randomized in one pool, I'll take any mercy I can get here. Now, here's an unfortunate situation. Hell's found Domain. Obviously can't melt King Zora. So it's a very strange position where you're like, all right, I have to remember where this is because there's checks here to do as Child. But what if I have to come back here as adult? That kind of sucks.
We just saw, I don't know if we'd seen this already, but the forest boss entrance is Ganon's castle. And here's the spell house.
Forest boss entrance would be just basically the end of Forest Temple.
That's right, yeah. So Forest boss door and Shadow boss door are both an always hint. Because it's such a linear dungeon, you've got to go all the way through it to check that entrance. Again, organizers being really nice and friendly to us gave us an always hint for those 2 boss doors.
Now, I know these settings are still new, so it's going to be hard to estimate, but how long do you think these runners will take to complete this seed? I know it could be huge, it could be a little, but on average, what would be an okay time here?
I would say anything in the 2-hour range is a very friendly seed. Probably on average, closer to 3 hours is probably where you're at. You definitely still get some jets as well. Some seeds are hour and a half because all the bosses are just free.
Because we've already found 4.
Really vary.
Because we already found actually 5 boss doors, right? Because we found Goma, Dongo, Twinrova, Bongo, and Baronade. So we might not even need to do any of their dungeons.
That's right, and that happens a lot in mixed pools. You find the bosses, but it's more I can't kill them yet. Yeah. So you got to go and find the items you need to be able to beat them. And that's why I was saying before, Mirror Shield, Hammer, and Boomerang, they're your hard 3 items you always need, and the other items are kind of just sometimes you need them.
That's a good point. Yeah, because seeing that hoot shot on skull mask, is scary, but you know that maybe you won't even need long shot to do anything. You might just find
That's
the door
right.
Martha and fall right in.
Yeah, so you might just find the other hook and not ever need that skull mask one. But Cola's in Child Cack right now, so he's going to hand in the Keaton, and then probably at some stage make his way towards the skull mask, and grab that. So yeah, I don't know if we've found the Deku Theater itself yet, so we might not even be able to get that hook shot just yet.
Yeah, I have not seen it yet, but obviously in these settings, once you get to a location, you're like, you want to make the most of it. So yeah, turning the Keaton mask is great, and then whenever he has time to go back to mask shop, he'll pick up the skull mask, and hopefully he just wanders upon it as child. But if he finds it later as adult, then he'll just have to make his way back to it.
Yeah, it's really cool to note that adult can hand in the masks, like at the shop, but can't actually like interact with the NPCs that you need to show the mask to.
Oh, so that's an interesting situation we saw on Hell's Side. He rode Epona into the Lake Hylia entrance, which ended up putting him in a grotto, so dismounted him from Epona, obviously. And then he checked the grotto, walked out, and put him back on Epona. I didn't know that's how the flag for Epona worked.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. It's a little risky because sometimes you come out in an area riding Epona, and you can be like it hit some. I don't know exactly what it is, but like the game thinks you're in water, and Epona is suddenly flying in the air, and you're like 100 meters off the ground. So
I too sometimes confuse my horse with water.
So that does happen in mixed pools, but it happens. It doesn't happen often enough where people really care too much about it. So they're willing to take that risk, and if they end up with flying Epona, they just have to save quit.
So now here's a situation. So Hell's just got rid of their ferry, probably looking to get a large Poe to save for later, but then they just remembered, I got shoes, I could check this, and now they're going to run in Bongo. So we're going to see Bongo down here, because Hell's he's got a bow even, he's got this. And then Child just learned Saria's from Saria, it looked like.
Okay. Not the most useful song in these settings, but that's okay.
No, but we found past a Goron City, and we're already in Lost Woods, so we could check the two Saria checks at least. But not a very powerful song overall. And then Cole's going to remember this and grab the bottle.
Yeah.
Also, Hell's, of course, got the quick kill on Bongo Bongo. Very nice. Wow, green potion. So I think as we start approaching 45 minutes into this race, I'm looking at our items, and obviously bombs are the scariest because, again, we're barely skipping by all these entrances with chews. But Cole's already down to 6 chews after finding that second pack. And then Hell's will be sitting here at 9 chews still. So it's something that'd be really concerned about, but that DC Foolish Hint will help us. We won't get baited into spending all our explosives in there.
Yep.
Yeah, and then I guess we know where Hookshot is. Boomerang's always scary. I guess in these settings, Rudo's Letters really, no one gives a crap, huh? Because Fountain's just open.
Yeah, actually, I don't even think Rudo's Letter exists in these settings. I think it's been removed and it's just an extra bottle.
Speaking of one of 2 Saria checks, we find a recovery heart, and then Hell's did grab a large Poe out of field, so he will be ready to turn that in when he finds his way to the Poe shop. Which, so we already found where the guardhouse is earlier, so the entrance to the guardhouse would be the same entrance to Poe shop, since they're normally the same place, right?
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Cool. Just so no one's confused, and if there's a high roll and a low roll guard shop, it's the same place. Because we saw earlier when they were in Kokiri, they entered into Saria's house and they found a child shooting gallery, but since they were adult, the guy wasn't there.
Yeah. Yeah, but he'd gone on break.
Mm-hmm. Well, he moved shops.
Yeah.
He's looking to lease that one. But the Kokiri kids don't have a money income. The Skull kids hoard all the money. And they're not licensed to run a shooting gallery.
That's right. Cola's about to have a ocarina session.
All right.
Love to see it.
This is checks that you can do and then abandon them just because you dislike them becomes a lot less attractive in entrance randomizer, because we have runners who have preferences like, I'm just not going to do it in a main, I'm not doing memory game. But here it's like, well, when are you going to get back here? It's not a question of I don't want to spend time on it now. It's coming back to this check can be extremely time consuming later.
Yeah, that's right. It's it is kind of just do the checks you can while you're here. Because you just never know what you're gonna find. There's no guarantee that all your Way of the Hero items are gonna be hinted. Sometimes there's only, your essential items that are hinted Way of the Hero. Other times you have like 50 different things that are Way of the Hero. So it just depends.
Mm-hmm. And for anyone coming in just now to the race, the way this is working for the entrance randomizer is that it's all in one pool. So boss entrances, dungeon entrances, everything's randomized into one entrance. So again, we're seeing Cola go here into Saria's and its child shooting gallery, but it could also have been Twin Rova. It could also have been Spirit Temple entrance. It could have been your mom's house, wherever there's a back door. But who would win a fight between Burrito or Hyper? Chuckles is asking in chat to start shit, as Chuckles likes to do.
Yeah.
Hyper just in Hungry Jacks. So that's a little bit cheating. He's got a little bit more morning energy on me right now. So he would have the edge at this moment.
I only fight kangaroos, so you're safe.
That makes me feel more nervous if you could beat a kangaroo, dude. Those guys are jacked. But yes. Also, let's go baseball.
Oh, and no storms for Cola, so can't open up that bottom of the well entrance.
No. Yeah, missing that storms early on is starting to become a little bit of a troublemaker for Cola here, because he's going to have to remember all these areas to come back to later just to open Storm Grottos.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where it's like a sort of subtle time save that What the Hells is just being able to do every storms check along the way. It just keeps piling on like the time that he's saving, not having to go back to those entrances.
Absolutely. Oh, that's Bomb Bag though, which is in Kokiri's chest, and Hell still hasn't even found Temple of Time, which he'll find soon since he found his way to Hyrule Field. As we know, that is, I believe, the Kokiri or Kakariko entrance. But Bomb's huge, so Cola's going to be less worried about whether or not he needs to say scum the shoes, which we actually haven't seen them scum any. Neither runner scummed any, surprisingly.
Yeah, that's right. And we're seeing Cola go back to hand in Keaton Mask now and grab the Skull Mask. So almost about 80% of the way there to getting a hook shot.
Mm-hmm.
Just got to find that Scrub Theater now.
And Hells is about to discover GTG. Now he does have a bow, so he can do a little bit more in terms of checks here, such as in the lobby. But I think I'd agree with you in guessing earlier that Cola was going to leave early. I don't think Hells is going to go very far either.
Yeah, maybe a couple of checks and peek the maze. That might be about all we get from What the Hells.
Mm-hmm. So Hell's finally played Requiem, leading to DMC. He's going to fall down and find a fairy fountain down here. Or Cola. I was watching Hell's crouched out of Stalfos while I was watching Cola go somewhere. Stalfos are just trolls.
They sure are.
I've been helping my friend. He's been slowly learning Ocarina of Time Rando, and he's definitely one of those players where it's like, yeah, I'll learn the Rando, but I don't want to play the full vanilla game. So it's interesting what difficulty curves people run into when they're first learning the game, and one of them is like, I had him go do Forest Temple. Stalfos are now his nemesis.
Yeah, it's funny when you talk to people, and that vanilla is what they play. They don't even know. Sorry, Rando is what they play. They don't even know the vanilla game, and you're like, vanilla boss key chest, and they're like, what's that?
Yeah, like, where was that? And it's like, have to think about it because I'm like, how else do I describe this? It's in the room that's past the first twisted hallway. If you hit the second, you went too far. But Cola did finally find their bow, so they can start making use of this fire as we go back to adult. We've seen both Saria checks, which are both junk, which is fortunate for Hells. So if he doesn't get around to getting Saria's song anytime soon off of Saria, then skin off his back. He will still get around to it though, because you're not going to be skipping those song checks, and he doesn't know what's on it.
Yeah.
Haven't seen a big chest yet in GTG, by the way, as Hells has been peeking the maze, just finding keys in small chests.
Yeah, nothing too exciting. That's probably, I think what the Hells has probably seen enough from here and gonna get out of here.
Yep, absolutely. He's going to walk right back out to Hyrule Field because we don't want to leave those checks yet. I don't think either runners played... Oh, no, they did. Prelude released a Goron City. I was like, did we see that? I was like, yeah.
Didn't Cola just get a bomb bag?
Yeah.
Okay. we're just showing off a restream then. That's cool. I respect that.
Oh, yeah, for Test of Courage, so Hot Rod.
Yep.
Or no, the pot.
Just, yeah, chew with the pot, yeah.
I
Why
think
not?
he forgot.
Yeah.
Why not?
Again, Mixed Fools just has so much going on. You really rely on muscle memory, and probably hasn't sunk in yet that, hey, I have a bomb bag now.
Mm-hmm. It's easy to get things twisted. If anyone's ever played a randomizer and felt overwhelmed and remembering logic or what you can and can't do at that moment, this is definitely one of those situations where your brain's processing a lot, such as Hell's just finding the entrance to Forest Temple in the back, that grotto near Kakariko entrance. So Colas is probably like, I got shoes. Yeah, he's going to do a hot rodder with a chew. There's Temple of Time. Hells is like, do I do it? Do I go shadow? Do I go?
He doesn't know what to do.
He doesn't know, doing the dance of thought there. And he decides, I'm going to go finish checking Hyrule Field as adult. Yeah. Which, honestly, he's done a lot as adult already. I'm a little shocked that he's just not going child sooner than later.
Yeah, so if anybody is thinking about, I was just gonna say, if anybody is thinking about like playing mixed balls, competitively or just for fun, my advice would be, find a way to take notes that works for you. I think that was my biggest challenge, was finding what works for me. I like some of the Excel documents and things like that, tracking all the entrances. It was just too much for me. Some people prefer it that way, so. Once you find something that works for you, I think it becomes a lot easier to manage. But it can definitely feel pretty overwhelming if you're not comfortable tracking the entrances and things like that.
Yeah, I think what helped me a lot in terms of if I was to do mixed pulls is I would get a person like maybe Chuckles and sit him down in a stool next to me and tell him write everything down, nerd.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, just make Chuckles do it. I'm glad Baseball... Yeah, shoutouts to Baseball, who's not only doing the restream for us today, but has also been writing all the entrances on the Google sheet. So in an hour, when Hyper's like, how do we get to Gan's Tower? I'm going to hold on. Let me look.
That would be very helpful. Also, shoutouts to the boys. We just saw the boys in the Carpenter tent. So always worthwhile a shout out when we see the boys.
The boys are hanging out. They're gaming.
Yeah, that's in the GTG entrance, so hopefully we get to see Cola do that at some stage, because we love to see the boys.
They're all exhausted. They just tried to do a Switch 2 pre-order, and they all failed.
I mean, they've been working so hard.
I know. Cole found light arrows, and I was not going to have to think about that. I feel like just early on, though, when you're still sorting out the basics, when you run into light arrows, you're like, okay, cool, that's nice. But it's like, not the first thing I would want to see right now. Yeah, I definitely would agree that the using a Google Sheet or Excel sheet is visually easy for everyone just to look and recognize it. There are some trackers, like Hyper mentioned earlier, where they get pretty visual. Like, I've seen that entrance tracker where it's just like a big map, and then you could just have adjoining like the rooms and stuff or whatever. And I'm just like, that's too much for me, man. That's too much info. I need you to bring it back.
Yeah, Tutor is really nice. It's probably the most popular one used for Mixed Pool as well. For me personally, I just take too long to like track the entrances on it. That's why I can't use it, but I know that's a popular one for a lot of people, especially casually. It's great for casual.
Oh, absolutely. I think anything visual just helps a lot with the learning process, which is like when I'm helping somebody learn any part of Rando, like my friend that I talked about earlier, I'm like, here, look at my stream, I will show you. Because if I just describe it like, oh yeah, just go into the right courtyard and reverse it, and then just like say out how to like do that, he's gonna be like, what are you talking about? So even just having tutor where it's like, oh, okay, so this entrance of Hyrule Field goes here. They don't have to sit there and go, which one's Kokiri entrance? It's just, oh, that hole goes there.
Yeah. I don't think we mentioned this as well, but we start with Gerudo card in these settings. Just the bridge is open by default, so that's just a side effect of having the bridge open that you start with Gerudo card. So you don't have to worry about being caught by guards or anything like that. You can just do all the fortress entrance checks whenever you want to.
Yeah. So Hell's not finding a way forward here at the end of Gerudo Fortress, as the entrance from Gerudo Fortress to Haunted Wasteland is actually the Bomb Shoe Shop, but it did have blue fire arrows and the big Goron sword, which he was able to afford both. So I think we're going to rename Bomb Shoe Shop to Mid Shop, because that's mid useful. I mean, he hasn't done ice yet, but he still needs to fight magic, so it's like nice things to have, not required though.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Then Cola found their way to
Colossus.
Colossus.
Nice.
Sorry, I just saw Virgil Wright acronym shop, and I'm like, alphabet soup. And there's Serenade. All right, well, that's another warp song for our pocket. And there is the Shadow Temple entrance. Cool. Yep, there's another Zora's Foul Way, the hero hint, and Hells is going to hop the fence and check entrance to Royal Family 2. And it looks like Cola's heading over to the Fairy Fountain. Now, I joked about the Silver Boulder here being a pain in the ass, and it might be, since we are almost an hour in and have not found one strength yet.
Yep, that happens.
So... and then Hell's finding Rainbow Bridge. Right.
Yeah, this is an interesting place to find because, as child, this is Hyrule Castle. So it's one of those places you have to kind of visit as both ages to do different checks.
So a good question for these settings is the entrance to Hyrule Castle, as in like if you're going to go do Zelda sneak thing.
Yeah.
Does that count as in the pool randomized, or do we not need to go?
It does not. No.
Okay.
I believe in these settings that just takes you back to the beginning of Hyrule Castle, so you can't even use it as a warp to get to Hyrule Field. Which I tried once. I thought I was being 5-head, and turns out not.
You should have stopped at Storm's Grotto.
Yeah.
So House found Poe's shop and was actually able to turn in a large Poe. Was not paid out for it, unfortunately.
Yeah, good idea though to just carry that big Poe around with you. The next thing is probably like when you're a child, you just kind of want to have a fish with you at all times because you might end up in Fountain and you can do the Jabu entrance.
Which Cola found a new entrance to Domain we haven't seen yet, which was the Lake Hylia entrance at the base of Domain here.
Oh, we got Child Wrench for Cola. Nice.
Yep, this is going to be Talon and a song. And then we can see what's in that grotto. Or I guess no Talon, because I forgot he's leasing out his home to the potion shop. And then we're going to get another song here. We're looking still for Minuet, Nocturne, or Suns. And Song of Time.
We're doing a gold scale check right now, so this is potentially Waff.
Yeah, Hells is probably remembering those hints that he's seen. And Malin did give Minuet, and Hells got a piece of heart for it. So maybe the gold scale is for Tektite Grotto?
Maybe, or there is still the Jabu entrance.
Right. So do entrances count as part of the logic paths for Way of the Hero?
Yeah, good question. Yeah, any entrance wherever that entrance was. So if Mido's house is in Jabu Jabu, Mido's house would be considered part of Zora's Fountain. The exception to that is dungeons are still their own area. So if you find DC and CAC, they're two separate places.
Okay, so for this example, in Kakariko, we found Twin Rova and another boss. So would that be part of the Kakariko Way of the Hero?
Yeah, those bosses would be. But yeah, separate dungeons entirely would be different regions.
Got it. All right, thank you. Ooh, Cola found
Bottom of the Wall's a nice one. Yeah, this is nice.
Yeah, and Cola's the one with a bomb bag and the lullaby bowl, so Cola's gonna have no problem clearing this out.
Yep.
And bottom of the well is path. We had a path or Way of the Hero for it earlier, so.
Oh, nice. You might get one of our unique items in here.
Mm-hmm. Wath. Way of the Hero or We on the Hunt. Looks like Hells is finally gonna go child for the first time at almost exactly an hour in. So I guess since we're here, happy 1 hour, everybody. Welcome to Zelda Speedruns channel number 2. I'm here today with Hyper as we're commentating this weekly race, which is on the multi-world mixed pool settings. Mixed pool referring to entrances are all mixed into one big pot, serving it up. Our runners today are Cola and Hells. We want to thank them for sharing these hot restreams with us, as they are taking a lot of different paths and options here, such as hitting child exactly 1 hour in for Hells. We also want to thank our trackers, Virgidante and Carliana, who are doing a ton of work today, tracking all these items and helping us out with these where we're going and where we went. And of course, Baseball for restreaming and also help track the entrances, because man, there's a lot of information going on today.
There sure is. And pointed out in chat, it's probably good to clarify as well. When you asked about the bosses, can they be Wath? So the item that it drops can be Wath, but not killing the boss itself. If that makes sense. Similar to how standard really works. So yeah.
Yes. So like the heart container Goma drops can be Wath, but they're not the boss to get the dungeon reward.
That's right. Yeah.
You've missed a lot, Baseball? I bet I've missed more. The entrances.
Baseball's doing a great job.
As always. So Child Spawn looks to be at Great Fairy Fountain, which spits them out to Domain. Not a bad place. That's a few different entrances to work with. And that's easy access to fish, to your point earlier. So if they forget to get a fish, they can go back and get one pretty easily.
Yeah, I found myself in a situation before where I needed a fish, and I didn't know how to get to Domain. And every generic grotto has a fish, but I never wrote down where the grottos were, so it was like I was playing the start of the seed again. I was just checking every entrance.
Sorry, they're out of season.
Yeah.
Man,
so that's why it's so important.
Like
just carry one with you, as you go. Just have it ready on standby.
Yeah, bottles are important, and they become more important here, as again, it's difficult to get certain things. If you're in a bad location to farm sticks, man, you're gonna wish you had that sword. Or say you're trying to push skulls and you don't have a bug bottle, and you're like, oopsies.
Yep.
Where do I get bugs now?
We haven't seen anything in the well yet, yeah.
Well, we still have a few more checks to do. Oh, well, here you go.
Yeah.
We evoked it. Come on, open it. Nice. Oh, Mirror Shield. Very
nice.
good. That's probably it.
That is definitely it. Yeah. I mean, it can be something else as well, but that is a hard required item, so you can tick that off as Way of the Hero.
I'm just thinking back to last week's weekly where we found Mirror Shield and Strength 2 in the same dungeon, and we're like,
yeah,
which one of these is it? And it was Strength 2.
Yeah, genuinely a good idea to always clear your Waths. That's the old meme before Parthians became a thing, so it usually holds true.
So that's a good point to talk about. Why use Way of the Hero hints in mixed pool entrance rather than pass?
Oh, it gets messy, I think. It's just I think path hints with how kind of chaotic mixed pools already is. I'm not sure if it even works properly, but I think WOTH hints are just a lot more straightforward for something that's already pretty kind of crazy. I think WOTH hints make sense, you know?
Yeah, and
Think
for
about
anyone
the entrances
unfamiliar,
more than the boss logic.
oh yeah, and for anyone unfamiliar with the differences between Way of the Hero and Path, Way of the Hero just basically goes, there's an important thing here, go get that thing. Where Path hints are like, there is an item here that will lead you to something important. So it's just a lot more clear cut when we have Way of the Hero hints turned on than Path. I do like Nykel's Path hints can be like handing a monkey a machine gun statement.
Yeah, and Hells is in Child Market right now, and Child Market's kind of awkward because you got different checks depending on your time of day. So without Sunsong, you got to kind of come back here twice.
Mm-hmm.
But it's good. You can check the Bomb Shoe shop, you can check the treasure chest game, and Bomb Shoe bowling, but you can't do any of the other ones.
Nope.
Oh, and also the back alley house. I always forget about that one.
Oh yeah, so for anyone who doesn't know their Zelda trivia, as Child, there is a door in the back alley that is basically unused, but when there's entrance randomizer turned on, especially like this, it becomes important. It could be one of your entrances. Which I think that's what Hells is going to go check right now, so watch Hells stream on the left if you want to see what we're talking about. And here's Tektite. Okay, isn't this important?
It looks like it.
Is.
He's committing.
So, yeah. It looks like
so we called it. Yeah. Oh, it's a hook!
Yeah. It's the other hook shot. All right, so the Way of the Hero for Fountain.
Path.
Oh, yeah, because this is only obtainable as Child. So, the Way of the Hero path for Gold Scale was Tektite Grotto in Child Market back alley door. That sucks.
So either we can't access the Deku Theater without that hookshot, or we have a long shot for Path. Which long shot for Path in mixed pools doesn't come up very often. There's not many hard long shot places.
No, it's much different than if anyone's been watching the Master Quest tournament that on recently. You'll know that long shots are much more important in Master Quest settings. But yeah, in base vanilla Ocarina of Time, you actually don't really need the long shot for a lot of stuff. It just kind of makes stuff easier.
Yeah, so yeah, important to we'll kind of keep track of that and see whether this Deku Theater turns up.
Mm-hmm.
It's still got to be somewhere where Child can get to, because Adult can't hand in the Skull Mask or like use the Skull Mask in that theater. So I wonder where it is.
So here's a convenient thing about our market location, is that the Hyrule Castle entrance actually goes to inside Lon Ranch House, so where Talon is. So once we flip it time of day, those are two time of day checks that are right next to each other, so we don't have to worry about crossing field and losing time of day or anything.
Yeah, that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it could be required for the Wasteland chest or even the entrance across the Wasteland. I was thinking that too. It can be required to get into the Morpher boss door, or even just long shot checks in Morpher, or in water, sorry. Shoot the sun. Well, probably not shoot the sun, because
you could do that without
Morpher, the water level is raised. So it's not necessarily a long shot lock check anymore that shoot the sun.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, to your point, it can get complicated with how entrances work out.
Yeah, I go back to, again, I have, previous bad experiences from seeds, so I remember a seed where my logical Temple of Time was Adult Lake. It was like, the only way I could get to Adult Lake was by raising the water level or something. I can't remember what it was. It was something like that. I don't know, it was kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm. There are a lot of other settings which would be really frustrating in these, is if your child start is, say, like, top of Zora's River, and you just don't find a scale forever, so you just can't swim back and check the Lost Woods entrance for a really long time.
Yeah.
This is frustrating. Like, it's right there. I want to swim down, but I can't.
It's similar, like if you don't have ZL and you just can't get into that waterfall entrance. Maybe you can as child, but like adult needs ZL or hovers or something like that.
Mm-hmm. So Hells did not take the owl.
So it might have just because when you talk to the owl, it tells you where he'll take you. So you still get the info, but you don't have to take the owl. Caller is waiting for time of day. So does he know what's in this entrance?
Yeah, he already went down and looked in it, so he's coming back out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So much going on. I just missed the entrances. Okay, that's water boss door. So that
water boss door. That's a
rules out long shot for that for that check at least.
All right.
Right, I see. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you want to do night cack. It looks or night market.
Okay, so that's nice. So Cola will get his hook shot as well.
He doesn't have gold scale.
Oh, you're right. Cola will see the hook shot.
He will see the hook shot, go, damn, where's gold scale? Yeah, that's unfortunate. That extra time as adult helped Hells out.
Yeah. Yeah, just being a little bit more thorough in that adult one. Pick up a few more things along the way, and yeah. I think we're just kind of seeing that pay off right now. Just missing the bomb bag, which is probably the only disadvantage for Hells right now, but I think still has a couple of chews left.
Yeah, it's in a very reachable location for him. It's in Kokiri, and we know he can already get there from when he was running around as an adult, as I think it linked from, like, Kakariko. So he can get there, he just hasn't yet, and honestly, I can't blame him, because what left does he have to do there besides just the...
It's a very easy check to forget about and miss, because you can do all the other entrances as adult, and it's just that one child check, and I've definitely lost location that spot before.
Mm-hmm.
Talon snoozing. Wake up, Talon.
Left his door unlocked in the market. Anyone can just come on in and steal his super cuckoos. Steal the family recipe for super cuckoos. Okay, now Hells has finally found his well entrance, so he's going to clear this out and find Mirror Shield here.
Mm-hmm.
And then Cole's back out in Lake Hylia. So we'll see Cole will go around and do the same peaks that Hells has done. But while they do things that we've already took a peek at, let's take a reminder in that if you want to participate in the Multi-World Mixed Pool Tournament, if you're really liking these settings and you want to play yourself, make sure to sign up. Sign-ups open on Monday. There's information about it in the Ocarina of Time Randomizer Discord and there in the chat from Baseball on Twitch. Thank you very much. And we also want to, again, thank you all for being here on Zelda Speedruns. We've been trying to get some of these weekly races out. And we're going to have a lot of fun doing them.
Yeah, if anyone interested playing as well, the tournament itself is it's so good for all like ranges of skill levels because it's run as a Swiss style format. So you'll eventually play people that are on a similar skill level to you. So if you don't know how Swiss works, basically after round one, you've got people that won one game and people that lost the game. So if you won, you'll play other people that won in the next round. If you lost, you'll play other people that lost in round two. And so you just kind of keep playing people with the same win-loss record as you each round. So it's a really cool way to end up playing people that you're going to get a good race out of.
Yeah, it's like a very simple way of doing like a skill-based matching system for a tournament.
Yeah.
And with the way these settings are, sometimes it's just you play really well and you make the right choices and the other person makes the wrong choices. So when you lose a match, I don't think it's necessarily anything to be ashamed of. It's just like, oh, you took a left when I took a right. Damn.
I've had that happen before.
Yeah, right.
Lost the seed in the first 2 minutes because I went left, he went right, and he had a bomb bag for 2.5 hours longer than I did. So it happens.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah, so as we saw, Cola did check the owl, and you're right. The owl's like, hey, we're going to take you over to the graveyard. And Cola's like, I don't need to go there right now. They're going to take the Lake Hylia entrance, check where that is, while Hells works through bottom of the well. Take it on dead hand. And there's the Water Temple boss door like we saw earlier. It's going to save and quit. Which we did see the Water Temple entrance earlier. I think that's where what we saw in Kakariko earlier. So we can get on both sides of the temple pretty easily.
Yeah, so I don't think we care too much about getting the boss key there, but and you're not going to see Water Temple checks for a long time unless there's a good reason.
That was really good memory and or note taking by Cola there, remembering that Water Temple entrance goes to Kakariko. So he just save quit, went out there, and then I guess now he's deciding, you know what, screw it. I got a save set up there. Let me see where Minuet goes, which goes back to market.
Yeah.
And now he's checking Serenade. So now he's just checking his warp songs.
Yeah, a little bit of a moment to just get some information. I've checked a lot of my entrances now. Now it's time to start putting the pieces together and looking for my items that are going to help me progress.
Alright, looks like after checking his warp songs, he's decided that he wants to go back to Goron City. And is this the Lost Woods shortcut, looks like, coming up here? Yep, looks like he has not actually taken this way yet. And it's going to put Cola in the Baronade boss room. That's right. Or boss door.
That's where the other scale is.
Oh, yeah, if he goes and checks... Oh,
Please,
you know what?
Cola.
He saved quit. He's not doing it.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to dip it.
Uh-oh. Hell's little dip there is going to pay off.
Yeah. I do like what the Hells did in that situation. Just Wen did one check quickly and then bailed out. Yeah, Cola's going to miss that. That's going to hurt.
It's going to put back finding a very accessible hookshot with that Minuet. Yeah, but he is set up with Skull Mask, but who knows where Deku Theater is? We still haven't seen it.
That's exactly right. And if we do have access to the other hook, that means we need access to both anyway.
Right.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt. That's gonna take Cola a long time to get back to. Maybe Cola goes through that entrance at a later time and decides to just do it then. But yeah, running past that, yeah, gonna be a tough one for Cola to find.
I bet when Hells pulled that scale, he was like, okay, whatever. And then he finds the tech card. I was like, oh, that's good. Always love scale gags. It's just like, no one's excited about scale until it's one of the two checks that requires it. And as you pointed out earlier, that's one of the exciting things about Entrance Randomizer. Normally, we wouldn't be worrying about Tektite Grotto, especially since we got Iron Boots so early. But then, it might be that Tektite Grotto's inaccessible for adult, and look at Tektite Grotto's inaccessible for adult.
Yeah, there you go. It's all these little things that just they don't happen in regular settings, but Entrance Randomizer just has all these cool little unique things that can happen. I really like it.
They're deep paper cuts when you get burned by something very niche that usually you don't think about. You're like, I'm never forgetting this. All right, we scammed the Deku Scrub. Very nice, Cola.
Yeah, thank you to whoever the dev was that changed the way Deku Scrubs work, so they take your money before they give you the reward now. Used to be the other way around, so you would get scammed if your wallet was full, and they sold you money. They would give you the reward, then take your money. So it's a nice little change where you actually get the benefits of the rupee drops and things like that. It was Real Rob, awesome. Real Rob, legend. What a goat.
Real Rob's a real one. Cola's moving back to the Forest Temple entrance. I don't think Cola checked this one earlier, actually, so I think he's just going to take a peek at it.
Yeah, Cola was out of explosives when he was here. Interesting. Forest Temple, yeah, you don't want to touch that.
No, we're going to have to touch it later to get a Ganon, I think. Right? Didn't we have a hint that was like that? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was Ganon's castle. So, I mean,
Ganon's castle, yeah.
We don't know if we need to go there. It's not a great one to find out. But it might be that might be a late gameplay where you're like, okay, I need to do density now. I'm looking for stuff. I'll do forest because I know it leads to Ganon's castle.
Mm-hmm. So Cola's actually going into his adult 2 now at an hour and 18 in. So let's see what Cola now does with these newfound adult powers. He's playing Requiem, so he's going back to DMC. Death Mountain Crater. So we're going to go back into the belly of the volcano, and he's going to finally get storms. He's probably not going to feel great about this. I wouldn't.
Yeah, it's a bit of a feels bad, but yeah, you just kind of roll with it. It's like, okay, I've got all these checks I can do now.
So he's going to save and quit after doing that, which will put him back in Kokiri, or Kakariko. They need to name these places with fewer Ks. And then, let's see where he goes from here. He's got a lot of options here in Kakariko. It's just a few boss doors. He did pull Mirror Shield, so he could go do... How annoying is Twin Rover without a hook shot?
It works the same as with a bow.
Right.
So you can still stun Rover with a bow. So I think Cola will go do that.
Now, I will admit, seeing Kakariko Adult Archery be in the same spot did throw me for a loop earlier. I silently, I was like, wait a second.
Yeah, you mix all of the pools and the shop is still here. It's pretty funny.
Mm-hmm. And then Hells is running through Sacred Forest Meadow, and we'll find Saria song from Saria. Not important to see as the 2 Saria checks we already saw from Cola's side, which did not give us anything needed or helpful, but fill out your song roster. Starting to get a little nervous. I don't know why. I have this gut feeling that not having Song of Time might suck later.
Yeah, it could be. It's yeah, we're still missing a few key things. Not having like a hammer and or a rang yet is a little concerning, I guess.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I don't know, dude. I just have this gut feeling that something's in the toilet this time.
I trust your gut.
Thanks. I did fill up with burgers and fries earlier. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, equipping Mirror Shield, put on Zora Tunic because we want a different color after running for a little bit. And looks like he's going to go check Cow Grotto on Death Mountain Trail.
Yeah.
Didn't get to see this
just
earlier.
Another one of those entrances that you just never see in other settings.
No, I mean, if we randomized cows, we would.
Cola, you can just jump. You don't need to blow that one up. You're a big boy, you're adult.
Right now. It's okay, he's thinking about other things. Like where Gold's scale might be.
Yeah, that's true. Cola's gonna be looking a while. Honestly, Cola. I was gonna say Cola is possibly thinking that maybe he can get into the back alley as adult. I don't know. Maybe Cola's thinking that because that happens sometimes. You can like go through an entrance and end up in the back alley as adult, and then use the irons. But with Gold Scale Wath, we know that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, because as a reminder, for Market as adult, you can't access the back alley. There's like rubble in the way. But because of entrance randomizer, you could end up at that doorway entrance.
Yeah. Hell's just got his bomb bag, by the way. So
yeah, a minute
very
and 22
nice.
For an hour and 22 in. Better late than never.
Yeah, I like Alka pointing out Nicola literally just equipped the mirror shield and then found Deku Tree, so he needs the Hylian shield back on.
Yeah, I don't know why they made it so Mirror Shield doesn't reflect projectiles.
Yeah, it's just a vanilla mechanic.
Yep.
It's been talked about being like patched for Randomizer, but I think it's one of those things where routing in having a Hylian shield is still a skill in itself, so giving it some kind of effect and benefit over the mirror shield is worthwhile for Randomizer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so to get a Ganon's boss key in these settings, we need all 9 dungeon rewards, so we're going to be doing it anyways, but looking at Cola's tracker from my side, it looks like it might be... Well, we know it's Bongo and... Oh man, I can't tell. He made it too tiny. Cola, make a tracker
Yeah,
bigger.
I can't read it.
I know it's not Baronade. Baronade's a stone. We have some Hylian Shield fans in the chat. I didn't think anyone was standing shields, but I'm here for it.
Oh, we're going to see a cool trick from Cola here.
Oh, yeah,
this is not in logic in these settings, but we need a way to burn the web as Adult. So he's going to backflip onto the chest and shoot through the torch and light the web.
Ah, I've not seen this one for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, not logically required in these settings. It can be a trick that's turned on. So if you play multi-world, that is in logic, but not in mixed pools. In mixed pools, you need a fire source, so fire arrows or dins.
Mm-hmm. So now Hell's finally in Kokiri, having found that bomb bag earlier, is now remembering, oh yeah, there's a storm grotto here to check.
Oh, what is this?
Yo, boomerang. Lens and boomerang? I like it was like, should I buy the lens, saw the boomerang, like, oh, I'm gonna get that first. Exactly enough rupees to get both also. Wow. Very convenient. So boomerang is in the bottom of Deku. Huh. Interesting. That's a terrible place for a store, by the way. Terrible foot traffic.
Business is not good there.
No. Yeah, no magic, so we can't really make use of that lens yet, but the only thing we're really worried about using lenses is treasure chest minigame, which we haven't found that either. Magic must be in fire. You know, there's a good odd since we had Fire Temple's Way of the Hero.
Yeah, and Ink saying that because it can't be for hammer because fire is hammer locked.
Right. And
so
we
yeah,
already
that's
know
a
where
good
both
point.
hook shots are. And then Cola's
Iron Boot's
their
really
wallet.
the only thing we've found in CAC so far.
Yeah, but there's a lot of entrances to bosses there. And
yeah.
The Water Temple entrance, so there's a lot of good things in CAC, just not necessarily items.
Yeah, I'm just putting pieces together. ZL is probably Woth. Iron Boots are Woth. Man, Water Temple, let's go.
We do have Forest boss door hint. That's Forest Temple boss door leads to Ganon's tower. I don't think... Did we see a shadow door hint? I don't think we did.
No, I don't think...
Oh, we saw a grotto.
Oh, to a grotto, yeah. So you kind of just, like, pray that grotto's dead until you decide to commit to shadow.
Same with Ganon's castle. You just pray that's dead. Because we already found... Well, Hell's found the path to Ganon's boss room. Cole, I don't think has found it yet.
Yeah. I mean, that's...
I was going to say, that boomerang sucks. Yeah. I don't know when Hells is going to get around to doing that. I guess once he finds Deku, he'll do it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was just going to say, it's there's been situations in mixed pools where you're in go mode, except you haven't found Ganon's tower yet. So your go mode is finding the tower. And there's been seeds where Ganon's tower is, I don't know, in OGC Fairy, and you only have strength 1. So
oh yeah,
that's always a fun aspect of mixed pools as well.
So Cole's gonna find Bomb Shoot Shop here. He's got the money, so I don't see why he wouldn't buy Big Goron's sword and Lens while he's here.
Mm-hmm.
And then Hells is going to exit out of Zor's River, which leads us to, right, Silver Rock and Valley, which, you know, again, we haven't found either strength upgrade. If anything's behind these Silver Rock grottos, looking kind of scary.
Yeah. Yeah, there's only 2 of them, but they can be annoying.
Yeah. Everyone has some developed some trauma from running a randomizer, and I feel like entrance randomizer is the next level of trauma, because you're like, I did so good on execution and finding everything, but where's Ganon's door?
Yeah.
All right, so Hells is going to pick up Serenade here once he exits back out of this shop, which does not have anything in it. Very cool. And then Cola is just working through Gerudo's fortress here. And we did see archery, Gerudo horseback archery earlier when Hells was here, and I don't believe anything important was on it, but we'll likely see Cola. Well, if Cola can set time of day, do it. Yeah, there's
Shout
the
out
boys.
To the boys.
One thing that always makes me wonder is you never really see anyone with food in this game. Does everyone just drink milk?
Maybe. Yeah, it's a good point.
What a diet.
I mean,
Hylian
Jabu
diet.
eats a fish.
That's true. There are fish and bugs. That's some protein. They eat Poes. I think the Poes are eating them. Gorons eat rocks.
Gorons eat rocks, yeah.
That's true.
So we're kind of reaching that point of the seed where we're getting close to... We checked most entrances. Probably time to start like making dungeon density plays.
Mm-hmm. I think that's what we saw with Cola mentally, as when he got reset from adult, he was in potion shop, and he was just standing there for a second like, all right, what am I doing?
Yeah, Cola going back to ice now for another song, which I don't mind.
Yeah, because if he finds Sun Song here, that makes some checks a little bit easier that he still hasn't done that are time of day dependent. Or more importantly, if you find Song of Time, you're right next to Gerudo's training grounds. That gives you something to do on the right side. Yeah.
Yeah, another warp song just helps with general movement.
I don't think you're allowed to eat Cucco. If you try and butcher a Cucco, you're toast. Yeah, all the songs that left have their uses. There's definitely no bad songs left in the pool, especially in the context of Entrance Rando. Talon gave us a child high explosives for collecting chickens. Very cool. That dude knows how to party. True, people. There are confirmed eggs. They might eat eggs. They could eat grass. They could eat the cows. But then why do cows live in grottos? Who put them down there?
That's what I want to know.
These are too many questions. Burrowing cows as we get through Ice Cavern. Unfortunate, because again, Cola just bought blue fire arrows, but unable to use them, as we've still not found magic, which, again, to what Al pointed out earlier, yeah, they're probably in Fire Temple. Or at least one of them is.
Yeah, that's the most likely scenario, and otherwise it's a strength for something.
Could it be a strength for getting through Fire Temple, or no?
I mean, maybe. Probably not, but maybe.
Probably not.
I've been hurt too much to doubt things like that.
Mm-hmm. Where are the bosses? A lot of the bosses are just hanging out, vibing. So we know Twin Rova and Bongo Bongo was South Scrub Grotto and Hollow Field. Bongo Bongo was that was Bongo Bongo. Twin Rova's in CAC. DC or King Dodongo was also like in CAC or right off CAC.
Are there any bosses we haven't seen yet?
Volvagia, Phantom Ganon, and I think
did we
that's
just
it.
see Phantom Ganon?
Did we? Oh, well.
Oh, cool. So we
So-
get guaranteed Phantom Ganon as child. That's awesome.
Huh.
So that means we definitely need a slingshot. So we could get a sling in Fire Temple now.
For the logical taking account that slingshot's required.
Yeah, you can't. There's no other way to beat Phantom Ganon without a sling because when he's in the paintings, nothing else works.
Oh, right. I was like, can't you use Boomerang? But that's when he's out of the paintings.
Unless I'm mistaken, does the Rang work on the paintings? Someone might be able to.
I don't think it works
thought
on
it was
the paintings.
Yeah. So, but it is cool. The boomerang for some reason stuns Phantom Ganon once he's like in his second phase of the attack. So it's a really quick kill once you get out of the paintings. But you still got to do the slow stuff with Sling. There's a strength.
Yeah, there's our first strength, which is Hyrule Castle, Song of Storms Grotto. The rare Hyrule Castle is very important this seed. I don't know how I feel about that one. Feels bad, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's near a boss, so it's not terrible.
True. Yeah, I don't know why Boomerang has a stunning effect on him. When I learned about that, I was like,
I don't
why?
know.
But why? Must just be like the damage table that it ended up on or something.
Yeah, it's very strange, but it's one of those cool little side effects that I love about Randomizer.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's see where our last warp goes with Cola over here on the right.
Lost
Oh,
Wood.
somewhere green. Oh, we're just back here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not that
I
exciting.
mean, that's useful.
Is it? I don't remember what's here.
I mean, there's a lot like of ways to get into Lost Woods already. So, and they've already kind of exhausted Lost Woods for checks. So I guess not that useful at this
Yeah.
point in the randomizer. But we just saw Cola equip bow. Is this a? Oh wait, play Bolero. I thought he was going to play. It's tricky because Requiem goes to DMC, but now we also have Bolero, which doesn't go to DMC. It looks like he's going to Forest Temple, and he's going to go try and... oh, nope. Temple of Time. I had a 50-50 on that one.
It's an age change. I
I
was
think
seeing
he's
what
gonna
the
go back
hell's
to
in
Jabu.
GTG. This is cool. What? So this is a fun fact about Song of Time. So the blocks are here as child because they move ages when you play Song of Time. So because they aren't there by default in adult, they're here by default as child.
Yeah.
So we can now access these checks.
It's a really good tech for this kind of randomizer. And it becomes more important when you're doing this in the Master Quest where you have a bunch of Song of Time blocks.
Yeah.
But yeah, fill it up
3
on
keys.
keys.
So then there must be something in the maze. It looks like.
But yeah, to Alex point in chat earlier, on the same wavelength there, I think Cole's going to slowly make his way over to Jabu Jabu now that he has that boomerang. So he might get his scale here. Soonish.
It's still so easy to skip. It's like the boomerang in Jabu itself only unlocks like 2 checks. So it's
yes, 2 checks. You're correct. It's easy to
so
skip, but
it's very easy to skip. We hope he doesn't because it's gonna be a rough seed without it.
yeah, well, because otherwise I don't know why he's going child. Because he already did a lot as child.
Well,
Again, he spent.
I don't think he's beat Baronade yet.
Oh, right. He could be going back to Baronade, which was in Hyrule Field, I think.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if he's beat Bongo. He might be pairing the two of them together.
Yeah, good point. Oh, there is a slingshot in GTG Maze.
Okay. Alright. Well, that's good.
Yeah, that makes PG doable.
You could beat PG right now, yeah.
Is it harder to ping pong with PG as child?
Yes, yeah. If you have the boomerang, you don't even need to play ping pong, but Hells does not have the boomerang. so he'll have to play some tennis.
Got it.
With the Kokiri sword, it's not as bad. Without the Kokiri sword, it's kind of trash. You need a bottle, and it sucks.
Yeah. Well, it looks like Cola is going to go over and check the Song of Storms grotto, which will he'll find his first strength here. So movement in Ocarina of Time Randomizer, and of course other randomizers as well, but we're talking about Ocarina of Time today, is really important. There's a lot of effort and strategizing that goes into reducing overworld movement. Entrance Randomizer takes that and says, hey, want me to make your life harder? Because remembering everything's already difficult, and having short paths to everywhere is already a challenge, but doing that on top of trying to remember what the hell you're doing at the same time makes it even more difficult. So just getting through these entrance randos is very impressive, let alone doing it quickly.
Damn, Cola bringing out the wallet, flexing with all that money, and pretty much buying at that shop.
He should have invested in property. It would have aged. Hell's got a quiver off of Target in the Woods, by the way. So more arrows for Hells, as Cola just spends all his money.
Cola contemplating his life choices right now as well, so...
I think that's just a natural point in an entrance randomizer. You're just like, why did I sign up to do this race?
I think he's actually doing is waiting for time of day, because this owl warps the graveyard.
Oh, Dampe check.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you bought a house in Kakariko as a child and then just use Temple of Time, that's instant money right there. All right, so Hells is making a play for Phantom Ganon here, and you'll see the rare child Phantom Ganon fight here on the left.
Yeah, it's a fun feature of Mixed Pools. See different bosses at different ages. It's a shame he doesn't have the boomerang to show it off, but we'll probably see Cola do that. So
yeah,
that's
absolutely.
Fine.
Let's see if Dampe's got anything on the right while we wait for Phantom Ganon to come out of the painting. Dampe's got $5. Like Alk was saying in chat, if you have the opportunity to do Dampe, just do it, because like you don't know when you're gonna, have the chance to do that again. So it's good that he checked in, and you can grab some Night Skulls here in Kakariko if he hasn't already, because no one's been able to check 10 yet.
Yeah. So you can see how bad this fight is. What the hell's is going for the bottle now? Because you have to deflect like the ray, and then you've got to jump slash with the stick. If you don't have the stick jump slash sword, it takes 3 cycles at least.
So and then he's missed
missed one. Yeah, so this is gonna go for even longer now. Oh, okay. Bit of tennis. Insane returns.
Very good, very good. Nice. Good. That was a very good comeback. Missing those power crouch stabs sucks on the first stun, but he had some good volleys there with PG.
Yeah. So having the bottle was from there. It looked like it was the better way to do it rather than the sword, because you can store your stick jump slash if you continue to use the bottle. You can just go straight into crouch stabs. Whereas if you're using the sword to play tennis, you've then got to keep doing a jump slash before you can crouch stab again.
Yeah, and for those who are unaware, the other benefit of using bottle there is that it has more active frames. Is that what it is? So it's easier to hit the reflection on those?
Yeah, it's almost impossible to miss with a bottle. it's
you say that, but everyone finds a way at some point.
Oh, yeah.
So Cole getting around to checking Song of Storms, Grottos, having found that song a little bit later. So this is him. So this child return makes a lot more sense now because I forgot that he didn't find Storms until about an hour in. So now he's returning to child and cleaning up all of his overworld child checks and doing Storms, Grottos along the way.
Yeah. And so this is the advantage that we saw What the Hells kind of have. It just was able to knock these checks out much earlier and along the way. It doesn't have to double back. But like that's only a small portion of time. The real advantage right now is the gold scale.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be interesting to see wherever this long shot may come into play, because Hells hasn't found the opportunity to actually go turn in Keaton Mask yet, it looks like, and then pick up Skull Mask. And Cola has been ready to turn in Skull Mask for a while, but again, still hasn't found Deku Theater.
Yeah, and Hells probably doesn't care too much about like the mask trade quest anymore. Like having a hook, unless long shot is somehow hard required. Like he's got a hook, doesn't need the long one. So yeah, not interested in really completing that trade quest right now.
No. Which reaffirms, because he's going adult right now to get his Prelude check, having grabbed the Force Medallion, grabs Bolero, stocks up another one. Pharaoh's Wind Logic. If Shadow is required, would that be FW logic? If Shadow, how much of Shadow Tempo could you do as a child? Not a lot, right?
None of it, because you can't get across the gap at the start.
Yeah. So we just don't need to do Shadow Temple today.
What entrance was it in?
Well, it's the well.
Oh, adult can get in there.
How does adult get in there in these settings?
The well is open once you open it as child.
Oh, is there not usually the wall stuff down
no,
there?
so in entrance randomizer, there's a couple of entrances that open, and this is not even just a mixed pools thing. This is just any, like with dungeon entrance randomizer is opened. You can get in the well as adult. You can get in Fire Temple as child. You can get into Deku Tree as adult.
Oh, okay, got it. So that included the well, yeah, because we saw a Deku Tree entrance open earlier. I didn't realize that also included well, because I was like, you can't clip into well. Don't cheat. But yeah, we did find Song of Time on Burning Cack.
Cola's in a... This is like... I don't know if Cola's going in here for just the hint, or maybe gonna use Bomb Choose and just check the DC entrance. I'm sure Cola has the foolish hint for this.
Well, here's a question. So we know DC is foolish. Does that include the boss entrance in the back? So is that entryway now also foolish?
Depends if that leads to another region or not. It's whatever's in there. If it's just a shop or anything, the shop is foolish. But if it leads to an entirely different region or dungeon, then that could be not foolish.
Okay, so that's what Cole is chasing here. It looks like he didn't even go for the hint. He's just going to go straight to the back and check that entrance. And then Hells is actually going into Twin Rover right now, so starting to clean up those dungeon rewards. Which, yeah, it looks like the stones are Jabu, Water, Fire. So Spirit will give us our Shadow Medallion, which will be our last medallion. Which will also give us Light Arrow casting item. Yay. Alright, let's hope for a good...
we're going to see a bit of DLC Dodongo's Cavern right now as well. We got to go the long way around.
Oh, yeah. Nice use of the Hylian shield, not burn your own shield, as we've kind of found like every Deku shield already. Other than going and buying one, I don't know how many opportunities you'd have to refresh that. The Swiss Sister's not giving Hells a good phase 1 here yet. Can you get up? Oh, yeah. No. I thought he almost squeaked out a hit there. There we go. I know all House and Deku Shield has a shop. Okay, that's pretty accessible for them. So not the worst thing. It's just that's more backtracking that you want to avoid, I suppose. All right, well, we're about to find out where this King Dodongo boss entrance leads to. Let's see if it was actually foolish or not. Yep, it's a Sagrado.
Yep.
And it's just a repeat of the Skull Mask hint. All right, well, it was good to check. I think Cole is in the point now where he's like, I'm either committing to doing dungeons or I'm just, going around checking whatever I can. It seems to be the latter right now. Because granted, he still doesn't have access to his hook shot. The only dungeon he could go do is Jabu. And to your point, that's like 3 checks.
Yeah.
I guess he could check the... No, he already did all that. Yeah, the Jabu's not a very dense option right now, even though that's where he does need to go. So kind of an unfortunate position to be in.
Yeah, he really doesn't have good options right now. But it is looking like dungeons are probably the best thing to do right now. So I don't know, maybe a little bit of forest. You don't need a hook to actually get through forest.
No.
So that might be where Cola heads next.
Is he gonna go do Child Bongo? Is that where he's going? Oh no, this is Baronade.
This is Baronade and then Bongo.
Hell still has the lead on dungeon rewards at the moment, but we know Cola can close the gap once Cola finds what he needs.
Yeah, that was another slingshot on Twin Rover, by the way. Which
that's mean.
I don't know if we have enough. I'm sure we would have enough logical keys for that first sling in GTG. Given that we have a hookshot as well, but I was just thinking if that sling was path for CAC.
Oh yeah. I'm not sure.
I don't think it is. I don't know how many keys deep that sling was. I don't know if it was 4 or 5, which is logically 6 or 7.
We found 1 key in lobby from Bo, and then there's a freestanding key, and then there are the 2 chests that you can get before opening any doors. There's 2 more keys, so there was 4 keys.
And
so
and it was 6 deep. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, we haven't done the left side yet. You'd only need 2 more keys. I would expect that there's probably 2 keys available.
Yeah. All right, so now Hells is going straight into Forest, which can full clear. Now, do you expect Hells to continue into Ganon's Castle and doing whatever checks he can in there, or do you think he's going to go, peace out? Personally, I think he'd at least check the scrubs, right?
Yeah, I think if you're in Forest, you're committing to Ganon's Castle as well.
Mm-hmm. Because he could do basically everything but Shadow Trial.
Foolish? I didn't realize Forest was foolish.
Oh. So if Forest is foolish, then joining Ganon's Castle's foolish.
No, because Ganon's Castle is its own region.
Oh, different area.
So this is the example where because it leads to a new region, it's only Forest is foolish. But if it was just a grotto or a shop or something in the boss door, that would be part of Forest Temple.
So Hells is committing to doing Forest just to get into Ganon's.
Yeah.
I mean, you can also check the entrance in Ganon's Castle, I guess. So that's one more area. And he's getting skulls while he's here. Okay, so I would agree that this is a risky play, but he's making the most of it between the skulls and the castle, and it looks like Cola's going to make the same risk as well here.
Yeah, I think Cola's situation is probably a little bit more... I don't know, maybe they're both in the same position. What other choices are there? I guess you could chase Path Iron Boots in for Water Temple. But there's only 4 items in there, but... I don't know, with Path Irons and Path ZL, I'd be more willing to do that than Foolish Forest right now.
I would agree. Especially since water, I feel like you can do a bit faster than Forest in this situation.
Yeah, sorry, I should be saying Wolf, not Path.
I know, it's hard to say it after the last few seasons, huh?
Yeah.
Especially since Wolf sounds terrible to say. That's why I've been trying to say Way of the Hero every time, but I know that's a mouthful.
But what was your other acronym again for it? I forgot.
For Way of the Hero?
Yeah, for WOF.
We on the hunt.
We on the hunt.
We on the hunt.
Yeah,
for
so
that
nothing
important
exciting gonna happen in this.
Don't say
forest.
that.
I mean,
we're here to entertain. It's double forest. That's where we step up our game, not give up.
we're at the 2-hour mark and we're in double foolish forest.
Listen, this is going on your review. But yeah, we are on the hunt for Hammer. Neither runner has found Hammer yet. We know where both hook shots are. We know where Boomerang is. It's at the end of Deku, which Hells has not found yet. Cola did find Deku do that. Cola, though, has not found Slingshot, which is required for Phantom Ganon. So, yeah, now this is the time to sit here and reflect. So, Sun Song is on Ocarina of Time. We know that now. So, unfortunately, by the time we can get it, it's probably not going to be useful because I feel like both runners have pretty much exhausted their time of day checks for the most part.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just thinking, like, maybe there's a chance that the Deku Theater is in Ganon's castle in the tower entrance. I'm just trying to think of like that's hook locked because there was a key on the island in Forest Temple. So I'm trying to think of ways that like the current hook that Hells has is the first logical hook shot, and like where can the theater be where it's hook locked? Because Child needs to be able to get to the theater, so it can't be in like obvious hookshot lock places like Water Temple entrance and like Forest Temple entrance. It can't be there because Child can't get into those.
Right, I forget. If you throw a silver boulder, does that remove it for Child as well?
No, it respawns.
Okay, so it definitely is known as silver boulder grottos.
Yeah, none of those.
I have a mean idea. We have Spirit Temple access. Someone found it earlier. It might be at the end of Child Spirit, past the Iron Knuckle.
Oh, so like drop down and... Oh, yeah. No, because Child can't get into the boss entrance there.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And we've already seen the Spirit Temple entrance.
So the Iron Knuckle, so out to the hands, that's still easy to Colossus no matter what?
Yes. Yeah, that's not randomized.
We did do Talon's Chickens, or at least Cola did. And Cola already did Damphaze, so yeah, it's like... For Cola especially, I don't think Kel's got around to doing Damphaze, might be wrong, but Cola did. So I think Cola's exhausted. They would only use Sun Song for movement, basically. Yeah, I don't know. I'm always a proponent of where's my second strength. I feel like that's always a thing to worry about too. Granted, I'm still more worried about Hammer at this point. But...
Yeah, that Hammer is just nowhere to be seen right now.
Yeah, because we have to defeat Volvagia, and so we need the Hammer. So I guess a good question to ask here is, we're seeing them do Forest Temple right now, and you just saw Hells go in a twisted hallway to check the chest for a key, because he needs keys to progress, so he can't be leaving those things behind, right?
Yeah.
Has there been a multi-world tournament setting with mixed pool entrances where someone proposed Keyring? Because we've been seeing Keyring play in League lately. Have we ever thought of Keyring for here?
I'm not sure. I mean, that's probably more one for the organizers. I don't know. I think... I don't know, it's a hard one. It significantly buffs dungeons, which at the moment, dungeons are kind of weak until later in the game. So there's positives in that. I've always personally thought having dungeon skulls on would be cool. But I don't know if people like dipping dungeons in mixed pools. I think what sets this apart from other settings is that like dungeons aren't the main focus of these settings. They're more like a side quest where you might need to go into a couple for some major items. So I think if adding something like keyrings or dungeon tokens brings a bit more of the focus back onto like dungeon exploration, which for some people might say is good, and others maybe they don't want that.
I think that brings a good point, because a lot of the time in randomizers, just due to the nature of dungeon rewards, bosses being on dungeons, and dungeons just generally being dense areas, unless, you know, they have a billion keys or whatever. A lot of the play does revolve around to getting your dungeons done as soon as possible. So this being more focused on how best to navigate the world it does make for a more interesting rule set for a race, and I think it makes it for a more varied race experience.
Yeah. You got a big chest here.
Yeah.
Oh, shield, let's go!
Cool.
I'm not sure if I love this change with the shields in the big chest.
Have we found
so
every Deku
trolling.
shield at this point? I feel like we found at least
so
3
many.
from chests.
I was playing multi-world yesterday, and our team found about 15 Deku shields between us. So there's a lot shuffled.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to Bitter Blossom's point in chat, these settings are cool. You know, I've seen a lot of entrance randomizers where people play them recreationally, not necessarily in a race setting. And they usually just end up to being like, you know, a seed goes for 9 hours, becomes a slog, yada, yada, yada. But I think these settings are fairly balanced to still have races within a time frame people expect. So that 2 to 3 hour window, like you were talking about, maybe 4 hours in terrible cases. But still having the fun of that experience of, okay, I gotta figure out where everything goes, I gotta remember where everything goes, how do I get back to here? And then the priority sometimes shifts from, like we've been talking about, to, damn, I really need to find a bow, to, damn, where's Deku Theater? So it's a lot of more interesting things to test yourself with. The test is a slightly different skill set.
Yeah, there's so many times where it moves away from, okay, what's my next play, to, okay, I need to get here, but how do I get there? And you've got to kind of like engineer a way back to the region you're trying to get towards. So it's like deciphering your like entrance tracking and like finding a path to get towards, you know, Kakariko or whatever it might be that you're trying to get to. That's kind of the hard thing sometimes.
Yeah, and when warp songs are randomized, it gets even more difficult, because sometimes you find warp songs that are really useful, but then you forget they do that, so that you don't end up using them for routing.
That's definitely happened before.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We have passed the 2 hour mark. So happy 2 hours here on ZeldaSpeedRuns, channel number 2. So this is the Kokiri Weekly, so it's one of the weekly races. For the next, if you like these settings, this week's races and next weekend's races will be using, or the next set of weeklies will be using them. So if you want to participate, there are still opportunities to participate. Or if you really like these settings, you could sign up for the tournament starting Monday. Information about that has been linked in the chat and is also in the Ocarina of Time Randomizer Discord. But I do want to thank Cola and Hells for sharing their excellent stream with us today. Again, seeing some different routing and philosophies and how they handle the randomized entrances here. And we also want to thank Hyper for being here to commentate with me, who, you know, he was tempted to participate in this race today as well, but then he was just like, you know what? Fuck it, we're going to commentate. I also want to thank our trackers, Virginante and Carliana, for handling all this information, along with Baseball, who's helping track, as well as handling the restream. So thank you very much, everybody. You wonder if you're wondering if backwalking is a good leg workout, go try backwalking everywhere in real life. Just, you know, do it where there's not a lot of things you could trip on or other people around.
So Cola got locked out of Forest Temple because the island had a key, and he doesn't have a hookshot, so he cannot get to Ganon's castle.
Okay, but what if he finds hovers?
Yeah, well then he could get there.
Yeah. I was trying to do the right courtyard door frame hovers to Scarecrow strat, so skip some keys when I was in a rando the other day. I think I tried it for 15 minutes and be like, damn, this jumps harder than it looks from balcony to door frame. So I just said screw it. I just did forest. All right, so yeah, Kola got locked out. Went and defeated Twin Rova, and is now heading towards Bongo. Gonna go do Bongo as an adult. And Hells is moving on to the third Poe sister. So Hells will satiate our curiosity for what's in Gan's Castle. Where's the hook? The first hook was in Tektite Grotto, which you needed golden scale for, because entrance to Tektite Grotto was the door in the back alley. That's usually not used. And Hells has scale from Zora's Fountain, which we used Iron Boots to get, and Jabu Jabu's Scrub. Kola found the silver scale in Fountain, but did not jump down in Jabu Jabu to check the Scrub before leaving. So that's the gold scale that Kola's missing. Now, there may be a way to get to that door as adult, but we have not found a way if there is one yet. Nah, no Child Bonga Bonga today. Sorry, everybody.
Yeah, with gold scale being path, I don't think there's any possible way adult can get to that market back alley.
We did have Child Phantom Ganon, so we'll thank the randomizer for that one. Which Kola did find Slingshot off of Twin Rova, so that'll be their first Slingshot. So they could go do their required Child Phantom Ganon now.
Yeah, I think you'll see that happen too. Kola's got to realize, like, Kola's getting close to the point where he's missed something, so that might help Kola get back to that gold scale at some point.
Yeah. He's running out of things to do, straight up. Yeah, it looks like he is going to Child right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, gotta check the sign. Gotta remember where Kak is. That's true. We will be seeing inside Ganon's castle here in a minute on Hell's side here on the left.
That's right. After a very exciting Foolish Forest Temple.
Hey, we love Forest Temple here. It's full of ghosts. Yeah, this
I'm honestly,
time.
I'm half expecting this this entrance, this next entrance, to be the Deku Theater. I can't think of many other places it can be.
How does Child get here, though?
Child's just got to come into Forest because the adults opened up everything. The elevator worked.
Yeah. That's true. If it is Deku Theater, that's a good one. That's funny, but also double bad for Kola since they got locked out by Hook. Yep, this is straight to Phantom Ganon here in the Din's entrance.
Yeah. So this is going to be cool because we'll be able to see the boomerang being put to use against Phantom Ganon.
Mm-hmm. All right. So if you missed Child Phantom Ganon, you're about to see it again here on the right. And like Hyper said, this time we do have boomerangs. We're going to see the unique boomerangs stone strat.
It's so broken. I love it.
Yeah. Who knew fighting Phantom Ganon as a child would be easier? So we do know where Volvagia is. It's the Temple of Time entrance that leads to Volvagia, which Hell's found earlier. But we have no hammer. Trying to refresh my memory where Deku Tree is. Ah, there it is. Deku Tree is Death Mountain Trail Cow Grotto. So Hells needs to make their way to Death Mountain Trail Cow Grotto at some point.
Yeah, it's a little bit out of the way.
Yeah, especially Hell's, who they already did a lot over there.
Yep, and Ganon's Castle coming up dead so far. There are 4
Oh,
scrubs
absolutely.
down the bottom here that we can check and then see what this entrance is.
Mm-hmm. I like the blue fire grab. That's good.
Yeah. And by the way, Phantom Ganon is dead on Cola's side. just like that.
Yeah, already done. Boomerang just makes it so much faster. I wish he used Boomerang as adult glitchlessly. All right, looks like the scrubs are not paying out anything today, unfortunately, for Ganon's Castle.
I want this to be the Deku Theater so bad.
Well, you're gonna find out what it is here. If it's Deku Theater, that's a good joke. I like that.
It is! Oh, let's go!
Okay, so if Hell's once long shot, they know how to get it now.
Yeah. So that confirms that it's just like the first hook is first hook guaranteed now. So that, yeah, there's no way to get that without the other hook shot.
No. So here's
The
Cola.
forest. The forest isn't necessarily required either. That's long shot. There's no indication saying we need long shot in this seed.
Yep. So here's Cola finally getting gold scale at the bottom of Jabu Jabu. Just gonna grab that, move on. They're here, so they're likely gonna do the remaining checks up on floor 1.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, Virgil, but like the seed, like we might not need the long shot to actually beat the seed. Like you only need hook shot for Morpha. There's not really many things that are long shot locked in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And it's confirmed that just the hook in market is way of the hero to beat Morpha, because it's the first hook.
We haven't found Morpha yet, though.
Oh, that's true.
We do have Water Boss Door, but that doesn't lead to Morpha, does it? Unless, I mean, it could.
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
no,
we've seen the water bus door as well.
Yeah.
Because we came through the back.
Oh, that's right. We've seen the entrance and the boss door to water, so we know it's not there. Fire has Morpha? Maybe... I don't think Morpha's my friend, Chad. I don't know about that one. I don't think Morpha has feelings. It's just kind of like a blob. It's an amoeba? Is that what it is? I forget what the boss subtitle is.
I don't know.
Oh, Jabu's got nothing other than this gold scale, looks like. So far.
Oh, so
That's
Morpha
true.
is in the Fire Temple entrance, is it? Okay. I don't remember where the bosses are. I never wrote that down.
Yeah, I only figured out where Deku was because I went back to the tracking sheet. Baseball's been helping keep up to date. that's why I got a little quieter. I was like, where's the freaking thing? I'm like, oh yeah, we did see Volvagia. I do remember Hell's peeked in there and then left. So yeah, this is definitely a situation of, I know where to get to the things for Hell's, but he doesn't have the items.
Yeah.
The only thing he doesn't know is Deku.
Well, that basically means that we are Hammer from probably Go mode then.
Yeah.
Because the Hammer we can beat Morpha, we can beat Volvagia. Those are our last 2 bosses, and we know Fire is Way of the Hero, so that's probably Magic, and then that just puts us in Go mode.
Mm-hmm. Hell's finding a big chest back here in GTG, which is double defense. Let's go. Yeah.
So, where can the hammer be? Like, I don't know. Have we resolved the Catwaff?
I'm gonna be real. I kind of stopped thinking about it because CAC led to a lot of places, and then we found boots, but we haven't used our boots for anything. Because while we know where Water Temple is, both runners are like, I'm not doing that. So
yeah, maybe like the Water Temple entrance for Iron Boots. Oh, we needed the irons for gold scale. Yeah.
Oh, in Fountain, yeah.
Yeah, so that's done.
Yeah, good point.
So have we used ZL for anything? Like,
Bottom
that's
of the
just-
well. I guess you didn't need it for Mirror Shield. That was just sitting there.
Yeah. It's got to be like, I don't know if any of the fairy fountains had something, or one of the ZL entrances.
I don't think so. The only thing I could think of is ZL could be required for water, right? Logically.
Yeah. And
there's
Shadow.
that. There's Shadow. But the
And
funnier
Spirit.
one would be Light Trial. That'd be the funnier one. Our skull checks on in these settings. So 30, 40, and 50 are disabled. 20 is hinted, which we went and saw the 20 hint earlier was nothing. 10's unhinted, and both runners have been slowly working towards 10. I think Hell's is very close.
Yeah, it's a pretty slow process. What is Cola doing?
I think he's killing time. I think he wants
Time of day
for some
again.
reason. Yeah. He wants time of day before he goes into GTG, it looks like. It looks like he's going to go trial GTG for the first time, put that slingshot to work. Because I think the last time he was in here, he was boatless. So
Yeah.
he's probably going to use the slingshot for a few things and then go to the right side.
Yeah.
So he should find his second slingshot here and be like, cool, great, thanks. Yeah,
I disagree,
about...
Alka, only because I won my semi-final last year, because Unhinted 20 Skulls had Mirror Shield, so...
Okay, well that's some very... I am a runner and I'm very thorough at my skulls bias.
Very biased. Hey,
Very
I normally
biased,
skip skulls.
Do you normally skip skulls?
Oh, it depends on the settings.
I feel like you only skip skulls when you're like, damn, I'm racing Ico.
Well, funny enough, that race was against Ico.
Yeah, that's funny. So we're getting guesses on where Hammer is. We are running out of checks straight up, so this is a really good time to start making your guesses where Hammer may be. 10 would be funny. We haven't seen them do any of Spirit. So Spirit, I think, has high odds just because of density.
Yeah, I just think we have to find a reason why ZL is Way of the Hero, or there's something else in CAC.
What if it's the boss key in Spirit?
Yeah. There's still a chance that sling on Rover is the first logical sling. Like, we haven't seen the left side of GTG to know if we have enough keys for the sling in GTG. And we don't have Strength 2 yet, so, like, all our keys could just be behind Strength 2, or even, like, a key on Toilet, which puts that other sling out of logic.
We have not peaked Shoot the Sun to my knowledge. And then, yeah, also the problem with Spirit, of course, is it's still Strength 2 locked on adult side, so... we did see Bomb in the Well. The only thing important down there was Mirror Shield, which we did not need ZL for. That was just sitting up there. Oh, Sun was hinted dead. We don't need to shoot the Sun today. Sun gets to survive. Well, Hell's got his 10th skull, so we will be seeing the 10th skull to the reward at some point. And then Hell's going to get Nocturne from here, and a bomb bag upgrade.
Cole's going to be very disappointed with this slingshot.
He is, but at least he'll know what this one big chest is, because I don't think there's another big chest in this maze. I think this is it.
Yep. Oh, it's actually 7 key locked as well.
Oh,
okay. That's actually a pretty big deal. That makes it way more likely that Slingshot is Way of the Hero in CAC on Rover.
Oh, because you need more things to get 7 keys within GTG logically to get that far?
Yeah.
Got it.
Until we find Strength 2, like, that's a pretty decent chance.
So, areas we haven't seen yet, we haven't talked about. Well, here's Cola going to the back alley to get the hook shot. So here's Cola's hook shot at 2 hours and 18 minutes. But some areas we haven't seen yet is I don't think we've seen Haunted Wasteland. We haven't seen Treasure Chest minigame. I think we've seen all the dungeon interiors now.
Yeah, I think so.
I feel like we've seen most of the grottos too, if not all of them.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if Cola now goes and finishes off Forests after getting that hook.
Right.
And then when he sees Deku Theater, maybe he goes back as Child and gets Longshot. I don't know.
I think if he needs time to think, I think he'll definitely go do that, because that's just something that he's just going to have to path back to, so then he can think about, okay, what am I doing after this? Do I really need this? Both runners have gone in and done Ice Cavern now. Looks like Hells is going down River. Yeah, Cole going back to Adult, to your point, likely just going to go finished for Sepul. We'll know for sure if he plays Bolero here, because that takes him out to Hyrule Field immediately. Also, backwalking does too. That's right. The whole Temple of Time's CAC entrance. Oh, Hells hasn't even checked this grotto yet. We have seen this before on Cola's side, but this is new to Hells.
But that's... Why would he not play ZL
Or
in that?
maybe he did it? Wait, no. But
Or
he
is
has
Zora's I don't know what the foolish hints are.
I think it is. Yeah, foolish river.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, he's checked it.
But I
now
get
he's
why
back
he was
that
checking the entrance, because it could have led somewhere different.
Right. New region.
Yeah. See, you got it.
So I have a question for you, in terms of logic, and I'm going to try. I'm going to explain this in a way that if someone less familiar can follow. So in randomizers, we have what are called spheres, and spheres go from 0 and then they number up. And what a sphere indicates is how available a check is. So if a sphere is 0, it means it's immediately there. You don't need any items to go get it. You can just walk up and grab it. If it's sphere 1, you might need 1 item to get it, like hookshot into Forest Temple to get the first chest would be a sphere 1 check. In Entrance Randomizer, how do spheres come into somebody's logic if they're keeping track of spheres? Because obviously with entrances disjointed, they all of a sudden have more requirements, right? So you could have like, getting into Kokiri required a warp song, and that warp song was Lon Lon Ranch, which to get into Ranch I needed a bomb, like for Goron City. So that would that make that a sphere 2 check all of a sudden, because you needed a bomb and a song to get in there?
Yeah, pretty much. I think there's less value in following spheres in these settings, except for like following your way of the hero paths. But I'm someone who tracks spheres in normal settings, and it's just too much to even track it in these settings. There's just way too much going on that I don't track it unless it's a way of the hero. I'm tracking it for that reason, but yeah, really, I don't see a lot of value behind it. So yeah,
that makes sense. And to Golden's point, mixed pools with these entrances can really increase the sphere 0 count and flatten the number.
Yeah.
So you might have fewer steps to something. It's just navigating to it. I've heard some tips before for people who do track spheres where they'll just track sphere 0s for the most part, and they won't track anything beyond that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good point to make.
Too important. Sorry.
No, I was saying, it's just a good point to make for anyone who might be trying to figure out a way to sort their information, because this is information loaded, and tracking spheres is usually like a tertiary thing during a randomizer. It's just kind of like, it becomes more important with the path style of hints, where it's path of the hero, and you need to be like, okay, when did I find this item? Where with way of the hero, it's just that, oh, I found the item.
Yeah, and I think I like that a lot, because I think one of the things I've found in mixed pools, so I track locations of where I find items, because if I find like a CAC way of the hero 2.5 hours into a seed, there's no chance I remember what I got in CAC with all the different, like, might have been like Great Fairies there, shops, grub grottos, who knows? Like, it's impossible to remember unless you like dive back through your VOD. So Yeah, I track like locations and where I found things. So when I find where the hero hints later, it's easier to recall those things.
Yeah, that's good to know. All right.
Boomerang for what the hell's?
Boomerang and lens. Don't forget the lens.
And lens. You gotta get the lens. Yeah, you're right.
What if Hammer's on TCG, dude?
It could be.
The cruelest of cruel. But yeah, Hells finally did find Deku, did Deku in that within the span of that conversation, because he's just going to smash it out, and he grabbed Boomerang and Lens, so now he can go finish Baronade in Hyrule Field. He could finish checking Jabu, but I think that's going to be on very low on the list of things to do for him, unless he's just running out of ideas. Which, to be honest, I'm running out of ideas of where.
Yeah.
Not so much like what we need, but like where the hell is anything?
Yeah, I still think I'd be going to Water Temple at some point. Path Iron Boots, like, it's not guaranteed they're worth, but like that's a hard Irons lock location.
Yeah, I mean, and to your point earlier, we did find that scale in the bottom of Fountain, which we needed irons for, but it could be something else that the irons was pointing to. I don't know.
It's just one of those ones. It's like, yeah, chase things that are already confirmed worth. It might not lead to anything because it's already confirmed, but
now I like this from Hells. He picked up extra blue fire, and he's just gonna go melt King Zora. Because I mentioned this earlier in the race. I'm like, when do you get around to doing this? And now is the time. Hells isn't leaving this behind. We have not seen this as Cola, so this is a new check here on the left.
Yeah, this is the value of going to Ganon's castle as well. Picked up blue fire while he was there.
Mm-hmm.
And get some seeds for his trouble.
All right. Well, it looks like he's passing through here anyways. He wanted to exit out. So, great idea not leaving that behind. And we're going to see what's on 10 Skulls. Well. All right, piece of heart. Sorry, 10 Skull believers. Dreams shattered.
Damn.
So he's going to see every set, go back to Kakariko, and let's see where Hells moves next. I'm honestly just kind of out of ideas for him other than going Child, killing Baronade, and then I guess he just needs to keep pushing locations. That strength, too, is really becoming a problem now because, again, we have Spirit Temple access. We've had it for a long time, but can't get past the lobby as adult.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we've seen Child go in at all. No. I'm not sure if we've seen any Child checks, so that's a possibility as well.
Yeah, something could be on Child's side, but these runners are trying to minimize the amount of time that they're in these dungeons at all, and of course, a good spirit is the spirit that you don't have to visit Child's side.
Yeah. This is a new one, though. We're going to get the Forest Temple entrance from What the Hell's.
Honestly, forgot that they haven't even looked at this yet.
Yeah. Yeah, with the reasonably late hook, there's a couple of these annoying entrances to get back to.
Alright, so we're going to see a new entrance on Hell's side here, also on the left. Let's see where Forest Temple takes us today.
Nah.
Okay.
Nothing.
Yeah, that's probably the least exciting grotto, especially since he's already done his 10 skulls. And he's going to go back to Hyrule Field. And I think this might be a play to Child to then go do Baronade. Yeah.
Yep. Makes sense.
It gives him time to think.
Yep. It's something you have to do at some stage. Might as well do it now.
Mm-hmm. It's just unfortunate because I think he's basically exhausted of Child checks as well.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't think he did Dampe.
That's really it. Yeah, Dampe, Child Spirit. There's not a lot else on the table right now.
Yeah, I think they were avoiding Child Spirit for a long time, both the runners, because they didn't have Slingshot for a really long time, so they couldn't really, finish out the left side. But now Hells can, so we might see him go make a play for Child Side Spirit. It's just you don't have a. You have sticks at least, so you could do some fire source checks there. And we know Cole's not going to fight anything in this first visit to Ganon's castle. But he will find where Deku Theater is and go, okay, I will remember that for later.
Yep. Yeah, you'll probably see, like, I would expect Cola to get the long shot at some point just because he's got the Skull Mask on hand. Probably, like, during his next child segment, if we're still looking for the hammer.
Mm-hmm. So Hells actually didn't go to Baronade. He's coming over...
I think he might.
I think he forgot which way Baronade was.
Yeah. This is what I do. I don't track specific entrances. I just say Baronade's in Hyrule Field, and then hope I remember which entrance it's in. So if Hells is like me, that I do this too.
Yeah. So for chat's reminder, Baronade is in the southeast Boulder Grotto, so all the way there in the bottom right of Hell's minimap. So he's gonna backwalk all the way down there. And we're so close to no mode. We just need to know where Hammer is, and I guess maybe where Strength 2 is.
Yeah, well, the hammer just straight up puts us in Go, so it's more exciting if we see like a Strength or something first.
Mm-hmm. Now, how disappointed will you be? How disappointed would their runners be if they go to Fire Temple and their Way of the Hero ends up being hover boots?
I mean, at least they know where to go. Although, actually, if those hover boots are just to access Morpher, that would be hilarious.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I like your thinking.
I was trying to think what would be like the worst monkey pod. I'm like, that seems pretty bad at this point.
Baronade playing a little bit mean.
No, Baronade's always mean.
Nice backup.
Very good.
And Cola's about to be thrilled.
He's like, great. Immediately plays Serenade to get out of there. Which this goes to Lake Hylia. Adult Lake Hylia checks, I guess, coming up.
Yeah, so have we done the Water Temple entrance? I don't think so. I think that's what he's doing now.
No. I'm just gonna take a quick guess. Have we seen fishing yet? I don't think we have. I don't think we found.
No, I don't think we've seen it at all.
Hole.
Yeah, it can't be in this entrance. No, because Child.
Oh, because
needs to
Child.
be in it too. Yeah,
that's right. All right, where does this go? Grotto, great.
Fun.
Man, I'm starting to scratch my head.
Yeah.
Where is this stuff?
Fishing was DMC Grotto. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm starting to think, Water Temple or Jabu. Like another item in Jabu, that'd be so mean.
Where would it be in Jabu, though? Because we saw Cola already do everything in Jabu, right?
Did he do everything? Sorry, I missed that.
Yeah, he went and did the stingers and all the floor one stuff.
Okay. Gotcha. All right.
So there's nothing in Jabu.
Not in there, then. All right,
that's why I was also like, yeah, I think you're going to see them start going into Water Temple sooner than later, just because they're running out of things to do.
Yeah, there's still a hope for your toilet that you requested.
Yeah, love to see a good flush.
Cola just picked up Song of Time, so...
Yeah, and then Hells has dropped off Keaton Mass. So Hells is setting up for Skull Mask, should he need it. What the Hells did turn in 10, it was nothing. It was I think it was a piece of heart or something. Very sad. Skulltula's coming up empty today.
Ooh, Crater Scrub. Wait, did that get hinted?
I think they already it either got hinted or they already checked it. I think it got hinted though. I think it's TMC Crater Scrub is dead.
Right.
What was in the Goron City Grotto? I don't think we've seen that. Oh, it was hinted at.
Okay.
I haven't been reading the hints as much because to the point that we were talking about earlier, Entrance Randomizer has a lot of info. So other than the Way of the Hero hints and the Foolish hints, have not been on top of my hint game as much.
Yeah.
I know I can check and read them here, but I'm more focused on what the runners are trying to do. Needs double my attention. Ooh, bouldered.
All right, well, this is important. We're gonna see left side of GTG. See what else
We
is
saw
in
it
here.
earlier from Hells.
Oh, did we see? I missed it.
Yeah, he got a double defense out of the hammer room. Not the hammer chest, but the one for
Okay.
killing all of them. So the only thing we haven't seen in GTG yet is behind Silver Block and the toilet.
Gotcha. Okay.
Which we've found, I think, almost all of the keys, so toilet might be something. Oh boy, we've had boots forever. Hell's finally getting around to doing Child Goron City. I don't think it pays out. I don't think we found anything here important as Child.
No, Daruni was dead. I think all of Child Goron was.
I think the more exciting thing about Goron City were the entrances, as they did lead to some useful places.
Yeah.
Which I could actually see what they were. Haha. Yeah. Crater leads to Ganon's Tower. And then Trail leads to Gerudo Valley from the Storm's Grotto. Lost Wood Maze goes to Jabu Boss Door. Goron Shop goes to Great Fairy Fountain, and Open Grotto is foolish. I was like, I know we saw something important here. Oh yeah, the Ganon's Tower. kind of crucial.
All right. Do we get a toilet? I think we're going to.
Oh boy, do it for the fans, Cola. Shout outs to the sheet. Having to go back up because he's got hook shot. Doesn't quite reach.
Yeah, this check is even worse when you don't have hovers and you only got hookshot.
I think he's going to use
Don't
storms to run up and jump
time.
off. But yeah, getting that lone rupee out on that island here to Cola's right really sucks without hovers.
Yeah.
As long as time here definitely helps more than people sometimes realize.
It's just so much slower without the hovers.
It is. And the flame bubbles are bigger trolls.
Yep.
Alright, well, yep, we're gonna see a toilet.
Alright, you called this around the 20-minute mark. Let's see if it pays off.
Okay. Yeah, I was like, I have a bad feeling. Might need Song of Storms today. Or Song of Time. Oh, sorry, it's the 2.5 hour mark. My brain's shutting down. Toilet's pretty quick with boots. I don't know about you. I always have a hard time in here, no matter what.
I'm a big believer that like this part of toilet is like actually the easy bit. Well, not the easy bit, but this isn't the shit part. It's the getting the rupees in the other room that sucks.
Yeah, that usually takes longer. Unfortunately, toilet came up empty. Nothing in there. So if there's
Very
anything
sad.
in GTG, it's behind the silver block. You're right, baseball.
All right,
Hyper,
so
Hyper is
where
right.
do we
Toilet
go?
is shit.
Where
Where do we get? Where do we go?
do we go? What
I
a
don't know.
temple! It's where else are we gonna go?
They've been avoiding it.
We can do 2 checks in shadow.
I'd rather go into Water Temple than do 2 checks in Shadow.
But
Cola,
Shadow's
don't
right
you jump in
there.
that well. I was gonna be like, don't go in there. Long shot chest, yeah, maybe.
That would be awesome because we don't have hovers, so we'd actually have to go get it.
Nope. I think Cola's gonna go check Forest Entrance now, which we know is just gonna be a dead end.
Yep. Oh, what's in this ant? So Hells is going into the back of Impa's house using the chicken.
Yeah, this is a
I
Spirit
don't-
Temple play.
Oh, this is Spirit Temple in this entrance. Okay, I like this.
The rare child actually does Bag of Impus House with Cucko.
All right.
So this is new information on our left side with Hells here. We're going to be seeing Child Side of Spirit. So he's either going to get dead end really fast here, or we're going to see a good chunk. This depends if he finds some keys.
Yeah, put Strength 2 in here.
That'd be thematically appropriate and also almost vanilla if Strength 2 is in here.
Yep.
All right, well, here is our first of 2 boxes. Let's see what's in it. Is this logical?
Yeah, this is in logic. Yeah, you are expected to use the chicken to get into that entrance. I've seen Temple of Time in that entrance before. It's not fun.
Inconvenient. Oh, he got bumped by the
Oh.
Stalfos?
But you got the cutscene skip. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Sick. Oh, here's a key. I think he's gonna climb here.
Yeah, for sure you climb. There's no way you come
Yeah.
in here just to find a key and bail.
Yeah, you're just running out of stuff to do. This could, for all you know, be required. Let's go, more spirit. Looks like Cola is trying to figure out what to do. Was in Hyrule Castle, put on Ocarina, and then was like, you know what? No, reset.
Yeah, they're both really running out of like things to do right now. So
Mhm.
I think it's only a matter of time before we find whatever is bottlenecking the seed.
Yeah. It's pretty impressive though that we're almost 3 hours in and we still not even seen every area of the game.
Yeah. Here we go. 2
Oh,
checks in
Cola.
Shadow. Let's go.
All right, Hyper, I'm going to ask you a question. Would you rather get 2 checks in Shadow or go into water?
Oh, 2 checks in Shadow for sure.
But you might not even need to go in Shadow, period, this seed.
I mean, Water Temple, the entirety of it is only 4 items anyway, so
That's true. Too many keys.
it's not a good trade-off.
So Okishi's asking, any clue where the hammer can be? No. I think our only unresolved way of the hero is the Fire Temple, which we're guessing is magic or maybe strength.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we've fulfilled the SFM to, like, the ZL. I don't even know what
Yeah.
ZL's been used for yet.
It's been used for Well and
Yeah, but Well was dead.
Composer Grave.
Sarias was in SFM. Was there anything beyond Mido for adult?
No, because Adult had Lost Woods access in front of and behind Mido. So I don't
Okay.
think Sarias would be required in that case.
Yeah, so it's definitely ZL then.
Child
And I don't think
Spirit's
ZL's
dead.
given us anything. Child Spirit, Early Shadow dead. Yeah.
Water Temple's still not dead, maybe.
Yeah,
He's
this is why Water Temple is like, that's very ZL locked. Like
Yeah,
most
absolutely.
of the checks.
And then Hells is picking up Skull Kid Mask, so... Ooh, do you think he's gonna go get Longshot now? He's right here. He can backwalk over to... Yeah, he's definitely doing it.
Yeah. If you're
Alright.
planning to go Water Temple next, then yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that might be on his list. What's Cola doing? Going up into Impa's house, which is water, right? Yeah.
Yep.
So just going into water without long shot.
It makes sense. Like Water Temple the long shot only locks 1 check.
Yeah. But Kola also didn't check Jabu Scrub earlier when he could, and got burned on it.
That's true.
So while it's only one check, ruh-roh, Raggy, that might be a important check. Let's get that key. What if the thing is on Dark Link? Well, then the thing's on Dark Link. Kola, just hit the switch. That's harder when it's a small chest, right?
I have no idea. I think it's the same.
No idea. Oh, okay.
Maybe it's easier. I don't know. It's annoying either way, but we're just us racers. We're too stubborn.
That's true.
The switch is right there, but we refuse.
All right, so Hells is getting the long shot here on the left side from Deku Theater. There's the boss key.
Well, we don't need that.
Yeah.
We've seen the boss entrance.
Mm-hmm.
This room sucks when you don't have magic.
Where Kola is?
Yeah. Sorry, it sucks all the time, but it's even worse without magic.
I stole man, who was it? Might have been Aiko. I stole somebody's strat from season 8 where they walk in the room, pull out a bomb, walk over the right side, let them all group up, and then just kill them with a bomb.
Yeah. I just feel like those enemies have a mind of their own, and
oh yeah,
they'll just like do whatever they want. Oh, that did not work, Kola.
Oh, Kola. Wanted it?
I don't know why.
Yeah, because both runners have been at boss door entrance here, so they both should remember that they don't need the key.
Yeah, didn't play ZL either.
No. Is he? He's not. Yeah, he's still going back in.
Oh, he wants to do Dark Link first.
Oh, okay. All right, so now Hells is entering Water Temple, a little bit behind Kola.
Yeah, I mean, if it's in here, like, we gotta race.
Yeah. And because, again, there's one check Kola can't do in here, so if that check comes into play, Hells is going to have a very solid lead still. Right now, they're just basically at the long shot difference. There was a long period of time there where I just felt like Hells had a better route going, had a better item setup. But whatever time he saved and all of that has been lost by both these runners. Just like, yo, where the hell is anything?
Yeah.
So definitely dissolved whatever lead for the most part. Again, just mostly ahead by a long shot. And I guess a Child Spirit, but we know Child Spirit's dead, so... Do we know where the water boss door leads or not hinted? Yeah, it leads to Lake Hylia, as Baseball noted. We saw them enter from the boss door, so they were at the top of the ramp. Hookshotting through those spikes never always sucks, but what?
Hells is going for the boss key as well. It's
maybe they forgot.
Maybe, yeah.
It's been a while. Again, a lot of information to track. So
is Dark Link hinted or something? Like they're both rushing Dark Link and Song of Time checks.
Here. Well, maybe. Oh, well, there is a big box here. Oh, there you go. There's strength too. Huh. Well, if it was hinted, they remembered. If it wasn't, oh nope. Hells is actually rushing the boss door.
Oh. Okay.
Okay. Well, that's big for Kola. Kola can go do a lot with that strength too. He can check the Desert Colossus Silver Boulder. I don't think we've seen that at all.
I find it so strange that neither of them played ZL and they just dipped as soon as they got 2 keys plus the boss key. And yeah, there's another big item here.
Oh dang! It's all behind Dawn. Oh, and Hell's left.
Is Song of Time some path somehow?
And there's Hammer.
Dude, that's it. Holy shit.
Okay. Why did Hell's leave?
I don't know what is going on.
He left to go back to Lake Hylia to do Lakeside Lab check.
Well, Cola's in effectively no mode, but I don't think... Well, no, not... Yeah. Effectively no mode, but I'm not sure he's realized that yet. Or maybe just wanted to be safe.
I think he wanted to be safe. Did he actually find the entrance to Ganon's Tower yet? I don't think he did.
Baseball. I think you're right. I think Song of Time was on Burning Cack, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, that's way up the hero. I mean, that's like classic. Yeah, fulfill your always clear your Waths because the irons were confirmed Wath, but yeah, Song of Time is also Wath.
Yeah. So. The crater entrance from Goron City leads to Ganon's Tower, and I don't know if Cola got around to checking that as adult. So I don't think he knows where the boss room is yet.
Right, yeah, I think you're right.
He still needs to find Morpha, but
he'll
know
where Morpha
find
is.
Malvagia's entry is?
I think they know where all the bosses are.
Okay, yeah, he does.
They've got
He's
the location hints, so yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot that Burning Cat can be Way of the Hero because it's not an always hint.
Oh, right. So Hell's now back in Water Temple. Now he's gonna go change the water level.
Yeah, this was...
Yeah, what do you think his priority was with grabbing the boss key to go out to Lake Hylia there?
No idea. I think maybe they don't have quick access to Lake Hylia, so that was like, okay, boss key, there's my fast Lake Hylia access. I'll do these checks quickly, and then I'll go back into Water Temple.
I mean, Serenade takes him to Lake Hylia.
Oh, okay, then I have no idea.
Yeah, because I was like, nah, we haven't warped there. He just might be lost in the sauce mode.
Yeah, I think that's probably more likely. We're lucky we can sit here and watch. We have baseball tracking for us. These guys got to do it all on their own, so...
Very fast Volvagia with that big Goron sword. Skipped a few bomb drops there. Very good for Cola.
Yeah, what a lead swing. Cola just coming in, not interested in long shot, not interested in other water checks, just push Song of Time, find Strength 2 and Hammer, and let's go.
Yeah. So, moral of the story, Okishi was right. Go to water.
Yep.
Yeah, baseball's also right there in chat. Giving just everyone who runs just needs a team of people tracking for them.
Let's go back to Chuckles sitting under the desk and taking notes for us.
I didn't say I was gonna put him under the desk, just in a small stool next to me.
Yeah, I think unfortunately, what the hell is this gonna last location, like the hammer of this, like of the route he chose to take in Water Temple. I would have done the same thing though.
Yeah, checking left loop is generally pretty slow.
Yeah, Cola's just big brain.
To baseball's point earlier with Song of Time being possible way of the hero and so much to think about. We both didn't even think about it. We were like, it's got to be the boots, right? And I was like, oh, yeah. Wait, yeah. Because that is Song of Time required.
It's a great example of like the difference between Way of the Hero and Path hints as well, because path hints are so much more specific that it's a lot safer to assume that your path is resolved when it meets the criteria. Whereas Way of the Hero is way more generic. So I think you got to be a little bit safer and like full clear those Woth areas.
Yeah, absolutely. Baseball says her dream job is just doing fancy calligraphy notes for randomizer races.
All right, let's make it happen, chat.
Let's make it happen, chat. Let's all band together to get baseball some fine paper and pens. I don't know what we're gonna do. I don't know how we're gonna compensate. Would you like my channel points? I have a few.
I'll get you a Domino's pizza, half price.
Whoa, dude! You could like eat that for like one day. You know, a guy. I mean, do you have to ship it from Australia? Because it might not keep.
No. American. It'd be a bit cold.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, to Number Plays point in chat, it is wild that Fire Temple for Magic ended up being the last thing that gets done this seed for Cola.
Magic's gotta be somewhere stupid, like, yeah, it could be like Deep Spirit, Light Trial, Din's Locked in Shadow.
Well, we have Fire Temple's Path, or Way the Hero.
Yeah, I mean, so like Magic 2, like.
Oh, Magic 2, yeah.
Has to be somewhere Magic locked.
Yeah.
Chess mini game, yeah.
Cool. Go get him with the door jam. Yeah, there we go. Cola with the quick kill on Morpha. Behind the walls in shadow. Yeah, that's a good one. Strength 3 for our last dip in IGC. That'd be funny. So, Lullaby wouldn't be path for this check, since you didn't even need to change the water level to get over to Darkling, did you?
Logically, it is ZL locked. Because you need 5 keys to get here.
Oh, right.
So again, Water Temple was just kind of screaming out to be picked up, but I guess you still needed to get some of the time first, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and to your point earlier, it's not... There's a lot of chests in Water Temple, but like half of them are keys or more, so... yep, there's magic.
There's magic.
Cole actually did not have to go very far.
Does Cola know where the tower is?
He must, because he's going to Goron City right now. And it's crater entrance. Oh, but he's rolling that way?
Yeah, magic is being in the process of being tweaked. It's just being updated on latest dev, so we now have rainbow smoke magic, but that's not in right now on this branch. And yeah, maybe the magic model could be turned around as well.
There's a preview of that in the Ocarina of Time Randomizer Discord. But yeah, it's on the most recent dev branch as well. Oh, the door's closed. He never opened the door. So yeah, he knew where it was. He just never went there.
So how did he know where it was? Is this like his last location or something?
I think there was maybe a hint.
Oh.
That's my only thought.
I'm not
Because if
even
this
sure
was his
there is
first guess, that's wild.
Well, he probably didn't have many left. Like, he probably, like, Wasteland and that check was, like, just about everything he had left.
Mm-hmm. So Hell's got their hammer and Strength 2. They're playing Nocturne. to go get to Temple of Time to go bonk Volvagia on the head. Get that bottle, Cola. Don't you dare pass that bottle.
Shadow Temple's being hinted. That's an always hint. The boss entrance.
Yeah,
and we've come out of the reverse. We've come out of the actual Shadow Temple entrance in reverse.
Mm-hmm. No, that chest we saw earlier from Hells when Hells climbed, it was a bottle with a fairy in it. Cola just missing the backup fairy in case he somehow fails Ganondorf and Ganon with... Man, he almost ended up with 10 hearts.
Yeah, it's one of those things that kind of happens naturally. Like, there's so many scrubs that just like give you free hearts and stuff that your health kind of just fills up naturally.
Yeah.
I was pretty close. I said roughly 3 hours.
Yeah, you were right.
On the money.
And I guess while we see Cola fight Ganondorf here, we get hyped. I guess we'll say happy almost 3 hours, everybody, here on Zelda Speedruns. This is a Kokiri weekly race. Right now the settings are for the Mixed Pools tournament, which is signups for it open Monday. There's information about it in the Ocarina of Time Randomizer Discord under the announcements for standard. And we can also drop some information here in Twitch chat for anybody watching. So if you like these settings, you should sign up. Otherwise, the weekly race tomorrow and the next set of 2 weekly races will have these settings enabled. So if you want to try these out that way, you can do that as well. And we also want to thank Hells and Cola for sharing some excellent restreams with us today. And seeing that, you know, even when you're really ahead in items or maybe locations checked like Hells was, you could just get lost in the maze that is Entrance Randomizer, and Cola made the right call, going back and checking Darkling's side when he did and pulling those items out. So just like any other randomizer settings, can be quite dramatic, but I want to thank Hyper for commentating with me today. I know he was thinking about running this, but he's like, you know what, I'll commentate. Let's do it. And then we had Trackers, Virtual Dante, and Carliana keeping everything straight for us. And Baseball, who not only did the restream, but also did a lot of the tracking for the entrances for us, which was much appreciated, as I did look back and have to use that sheet. And it was really helpful, because I was like, where the hell was Deku?
Yeah, when I saw Burrito signed up for comms, I'm like, nah, dude, I've got to be on commentary. This is a no-brainer.
He's hungry. The Hungry Jackson fill him up. He needed a burrito chaser. But yeah, to Alex's point in chat, we saw them both do Bottom of the Well, Ice Cavern. We saw Hells do Child Spirit, which unfortunately was a time sink, not a gainer for him. And then we saw 2 Foolish Force just to get into Ganon's castle, which didn't give them anything. You were right, we didn't need the long shot. So, yeah. But at the time, it was the right call, because Ganon's castle has a lot of checks in it. And they were at the point where, like, what do I do?
Yeah.
Hell's going to Goron City? Easiest way to Morpha.
Right.
Right.
Anyway, get your GGs ready. Cola are about to take the dub in this weekly, I think.
I think so, yeah. We haven't had any reports of anyone finishing yet.
GGs.
GGs. That's our first place finish. Yeah.
Nice.
Whoa.
Season 2 champ strikes. Starting off season 4 strong. Is it season 4 or season 5? I don't even know. What season are we up to?
I stopped counting.
I think it's 4. S4. Nice. Well, that was awesome. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. These things are very fun. Gives everyone something new to take a look at. And there's Incoherent, second place.
Oh, wow, that's so close.
Yeah, that's extremely close, especially given these settings.
Yo, GG Zinko.
Yeah, that's great.
So close.
This was,
Man, within 1 minute after 3 hours? That's crazy.
yeah, this seed definitely threw people over a loop. But we have Cola in here right now. GG Cola.
Yo,
Yo, GG.
well, that was a seed for sure, dude.
What was your favorite part? Doing Foolish Forest to Ganon's castle to find that you didn't need a long shot at the end of the road, or
Yeah, the Foolish Forest was great. I figured that there was the mask shop, by the way, at Ganon's castle. I knew that before even doing the whole forest thing because it was the last child entrance that I had left.
Yeah, that's I said that as well. I wasn't tracking entrances as much, but I'm like, I think this is gonna be the Deku Theater. Like, I'm not sure where else it could be.
Yeah, I had 0 other entrances for child, so it had to be there. That's basically why I even engaged in Forest in the first place. And then it's Hookshot Lock, though, so
Yeah.
it doesn't even help you.
no? This was a really tight race to watch back on Restream. You and Hells ended up doing some of the same stuff for a little bit, but then ended up diverging. And Hells actually got gold scale very quickly because when they found Jabu a little bit earlier than you did, they jumped down as adult to get the scrub. So they had gold scale and they had hookshot for quite a bit longer than you did. And going into Water Temple, Hells entered within a minute of when you entered. The difference being is that Hells ended up grabbing Key and then taking the boss door out to Lake Hylia to clean up an adult check before going back in. And then, unfortunately, last location, Megaton Hammer and Strength 2. So your routing in Water Temple worked out.
Yeah, I figured that with the water boss door not having any checks behind it, because it was past the water boss door you found Lake Hylia, right? So there was no check past that, and that means that there is going to be 1 item less in Water Temple in total. Because the keys have to be somewhere.
Oh,
right?
yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
That kind of means that basically all the items are going to be past the keys, which makes sense to do Darklink first then.
Oh, okay. We were wondering.
We're trying to piece together what made you sort of make that aggressive play for those checks first, whereas what the hell's did like the regular Water Temple route, and that's where you kind of pulled ahead and made time up on him. So that makes sense. That's really smart. I like that.
Yeah, that was pretty nice logic behind that.
Absolutely. Some big brain key logic.
And then in the end, I got obviously lucky just finding Ganon's castle really fast.
Oh yeah, we were wondering. I was like, wow, he went straight to it. Did he just know? We're like, was there a hint? And we're like, no, he did. He just remembered. And he's like, oh yeah, there it is.
I mean, there was just a warp right next to it, so
yeah.
Did you have many other entrances like really left that Tower could be?
Like the stuff past Hammer and the Fawn Crater.
Yeah.
And then some stuff in Zora's River, because I never actually went down Zora's River because it's foolish.
Right.
But that was about it, to be honest.
Yeah, otherwise, the sea was kind of generous to start with, giving you a big wallet so you could buy everything, which was very convenient. And then you had boots early. It just kind of threw a few curveballs. So I expect that you're entering the tournament, which I believe sign-ups are Monday?
Yeah, probably. Right. I've joined them every time so far, so might as well.
Yeah, so this was pretty good practice then, warm up for that.
Yeah, I'm doing some of these things as well, so I'm getting used to the settings.
Nice. Yeah, chat was really enjoying the settings. They said they look a lot of fun, and they seem to strike a good balance between still keeping seeds within a reasonable amount of time, but also giving you some curveballs. Like we were hoping that Mask of Truth was going to be something, but ended up only being Skull Mask, but then it wasn't important anyways. Are there any settings you particularly like about this one?
I like that all the bosses are just somewhere randomly, and then you have to do Child Phantom Ganon, for example. like in the seed. That is pretty fun.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
were
check-
glad you got to show off the boomerang with Phantom Ganon, because What the Hells didn't have Rang when he went in there. So yeah, we were glad you got to show that off and show how broken that fight can be.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, I didn't ask, but if Chad, if you have any questions, just let us know real quick. Looks like Hells is going to be finishing up here really quickly, starting Ganondorf.
I do wonder if I should count starting shop.
Yeah, we had a really good time watching you, Cola. We also like that bosses are freely available because Hyper was mentioning earlier that it ended up
Like just the
putting more weight to navigating the game rather and taking some of the strength out of dungeons.
one of the few entrances.
Yeah, I mean, I still did most of the dungeons in the seed because Water Temple had an item, right? But
'Cause when I was doing
there's
that,
Well, you-
definitely a lot more strength to just routing cleanly.
water.
Yeah, you did avoid doing any of Spirit, which Hells did end up eventually going into Child Side, which was dead. But yeah, we were really surprised that Water took as long as it did to get to. But then, you know, based on what you just described with the boss key door logic, makes sense. There's really not much that it could have been in up in there, and just happened to be both. Oh, there's hammer and strength, but that's how randomizer goes sometimes.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, there's 3 items in Water Temple. Of course, 2 of them are gonna be important.
Mm-hmm.
But then you also have the triple scroll.
And you do an entire forest in Ganon's castle, and it has nothing. And GTG, and GTG.
Oh yeah, GTG too. I was hoping something was in toilet. I called it 20 minutes in, and unfortunately no. But thank you for doing it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Wait, what did I do?
And then Hells is about to GG here, and it looks like some of the runners are for finish in third. Very cool.
Shit, I guess.
Cola, is there anything that you would like to see added to mix pools, or you like the current settings?
I like the current settings quite a bit. They're very
Yeah.
similar to what happened last season, right? There's some additions with the Mask of Truth that I'm not very, like, convinced on that is good, but
Then put the snipe included.
It does
because
seem brutal.
it's really annoying if you actually have to do the Mask of Truth, right? You have to run like 5 times back and forth,
Yeah,
potentially,
even
and
Skull
like
Mask,
imagine
routing that
imagine
in.
it's in this seed, then you have to
Yeah,
like go to the end of the world, basically.
yeah.
To 3 dungeons, possibly.
Yeah, I think the seed was a good demonstration of what people can expect for this kind of settings.
That was a fun seed.
No, Water
Yeah.
was unhinted.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
Water was I mean, the Song of Time was in Burning Cack, so like that it's hinted in that way, but like the Irons already resolved the path anyway for the scale. So, but it's like the
Yeah.
classic, like always clear your Waths kind of situation. That's why we
Mhm.
thought you rushed the Dark Link Loop Cola, but your explanation makes more sense.
I just wonder if
Yeah.
like, because of
we
the
were
fact
stuck mentally on a while for like, okay, Sacred Forest is Path. It's not Saria's, so maybe it's Zelda's Lullaby, but what?
I mean, it was also always Sarius because you have to go to Vavaja at some point and beat it. So you have to go past Midas.
Oh,
Because
right.
he's in the way.
Okay, there you go. So it wasn't ZL necessarily, or it was ZL also, but
Yeah, it always was Sarius.
gotcha.
Because the Lossless Warp just put you in front of Mido and not past him.
Right. Oh, and SFM had K-Sword?
Yeah, I think SFM led to a script
Oh,
we bought K-Sword out of.
okay, we missed that.
Yeah, I think that was
I mean, I
also
saw
a
it.
thing.
But yeah, I did
you didn't
put
say
that together.
anything.
Whatever, man. There's like 80 scrubs in this seed, and half of them give you like hearts. I was hoping for some more strength 2 shenanigans, but didn't really come into play. I was hoping big that Colossus Silver Rock Grotto was something, but nope.
Yeah, baseball K-Sword is for Phantom Ganon.
Oh, that's logically required for Phantom Ganon?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
It's also pretty annoying to do Phantom Ganon without it, to be honest, because you can't really do Broken Stick.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, good point. Yeah, we watched Hell's do Phantom Ganon before you without Boomerang, and he tried for like 2 volleys to use Kokiri's sword, and then went, whatever, and then started using Bottle.
Yeah.
So it's always fun to see bosses done. We were hoping that someone was going to do Bongo as child when he was discovered in South Grotto, but both of you were like, "No, I'll get that later. That's available."
Yeah, the thing is that I didn't have a slingshot, right? And then actually stunning the hands is borderline impossible.
Yeah.
With like a Kokiri sword or maybe a Deku Stick slash or something, it could be possible, but it's really annoying.
Yeah, you found it without Kokiri's sword, so Hyper's like, "Ooh, is he gonna use broken stick strats?" And then you just leave. I'm like, "No way, dude. That's a pain." Hyper, you have anything else you want to ask Cola? Because it looks like Hells will not be joining us today.
Yeah, I think we've pretty much covered everything. It was a good seed, showcased a lot of fun things. And yeah, hopefully we can get more restreams of mixed pools in the lead up to the tournament starting.
And drop there in chat the information about the settings and tournament structure again if you're curious and want to get involved. And otherwise, there is a weekly tomorrow with these settings. I don't know if we'll have a restream for it, but it'll be there if you wish to participate. So thanks again for your time, everybody, here in ZeldaSpeedRuns. I think we'll hand it off to baseball now, though.
Okay. Thanks everyone for watching. This was really fun. I haven't watched a lot of mixed pools before, but this was fun, even though I was really stressed tracking entrances. But yeah, it was fun. So thanks everyone for volunteering. Hyper, Burrito, thank you. Thank you to Carliana and Virgil for tracking. And thank you to Cola and What the Hell's Happened for being on Restream today. Yeah. That's it for today. Weeklies are going to be mixed pools for a little bit. Hopefully we get restreams on for those in the future too. I am going to rate us over to Zelda Speedruns, the main channel. They are currently broadcasting the Heroes of Time fundraiser for the American Cancer Society, and Cubs Rule is up next. So, should be fun. I have no idea what he's playing, but, you know, always fun to make fun of Cubs. So, enjoy that. And we'll see you next time. Bye.